Greetings, clobberers and clobberettes. Well timed, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's Saturday Night Star Trek,
Dun 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 dun!
number 76 to be precise, of Saturday Night Star Trek. And of course, Clobberin Times, issue number, well, on YouTube. Now, so we're this week celebrating my second year on YouTube at 378, but of course, 1,078 overall.
And the crowd goes wild.
Very wild crowd. You can see that, yeah, they are very wild out there. It is great to have you here, my wonderful number one. How are you this evening?
I am well. It is so good to be here. It is such an honor to be invited here and to show up in this room filled with wonderful people and to hang out with one of my best friends in the whole world, you.
You are absolutely a sight for sore eyes. Was looking forward to this all week, as I always do, and just great to see you and our wonderful friends here who are with us tonight. Three episodes tonight, rather, everyone, and then next week we will have our big finale.
Yep.
The big tamale, the ending of our review.
Yep. It's gonna be fun.
Of the entire series.
I can't believe it's over.
Trek, The Next Generation. Yes.
Can you believe it? 178 plus 4.
Yes, we'll do the movies the later week. Week after, 2 movies 2 weeks after that, of course.
Yep. But this is a big slice of the cake gone. So,
Huge.
79 plus 6, 22. Now 178 plus 4. The cake. We've almost eaten the whole cake.
Incredible, because again, like I said, we're at least in a sense. I know it's not exactly numbers wise, but since there are 6 series, right? We're halfway through series wise. We're at the halfway point almost.
That's right.
3, got done, 3 down in a couple of weeks anyway, and 3 to go after that. So can't wait. And everyone, I guess we will do a quick little show notes here before we get started, and before we get started with our hellos. Let's see here. Where are we? Okay.
Looks like the counter is acting nuts again. Do you remember when there were like a couple of weeks where the counter was saying only 2 people were watching Gary's show? Well, our counter has gone from 30 to 20 to like 23, down to 6, then 2, then 18.
It's pretty wacky tonight. Yeah.
Yes.
It's I don't know. I mean, next week is a holiday weekend, so I would expect that have less people, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Who knows what's going on? Mm-hmm. It is weird. Let's see here. First of all, I should say Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk.
Yes.
Mark D with the C, our engineer, will join me, and maybe even Tom from Midnight Jets. He's not sure if he can make it, but he has it's a subject he wants to participate in. We will be counting down our own personal list each of the 25 worst comic book movies revolted.
You always pick the sweetest pictures of Steven. Like, he looks like, I love the pictures you use of him. I miss him,
I miss him big time.
Look at that beautiful face. What a sweet and wonderful man he was. And I love the pictures you use of him on this tribute show, this show dedicated to him. You're such a good friend. I just love you so much.
Well, it'll always be his show. It'll always be Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk, and I sure do miss him. And then, of course, Wednesday night, I'll probably just do an open show Wednesday night. I got to change the programming on that a little bit. And then Thursday night, the 30th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm honored to be hosting a panel for the virtual con called Iconicon, put on by the great channel Retro Blasting, my wonderful Retro Blasting friends, Michael and Melinda, for the second year in a row now, putting on a great virtual con. I cannot wait for Iconicon. It is going to be just sensational like it was last year. And I'm very happy and honored to host a panel last year, and I'll be doing it this year. And this year will be, toy comics. In other words, comics based upon toys and not the other way around. And I'll be joined, of course, by the great master of the retro blastering, Michael French, and Chasing 80s Toys own Jeff Barker, and Endless Bullets Podcasts, Matt Swafford. So some sporting gentlemen there. I will be hanging out with them, and we will be talking all things, hopefully all things, we'll cover what we can, of toy-based comics. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, please go to, there's a description in my link below, I believe, and make sure.
May I please interrupt for 1 second, please? I beg your pardon, boss, but this is super important. BC is asking, Pleasant Valley Picker, such a good friend and strong supporter of this show and this community. He says a virtual con, so on the internet. Yeah, Pleasant Valley Picker, you know how you go to like a con and usually you have to pay to go in every room to listen to an expert panel talk about different subjects. Well, Michael French and his wife, they have this huge channel called Retro Blasting. I think they had Iconicon last year, but they have it again this year. And you would not believe the catalog of shows that are going to be available. Just different panels of all of these experts that Michael has assembled, and Clobby's one of them. And they're going to be talking about all different sorts of things, from geekdom to nerddom. This is going to cover everything. So merch, toys, films, TV shows, anything you can think of that's geek or nerd. And the great thing is you don't have to pay for it. So you just go to the Retro Blasting website. There, the full show catalog is there. You pick the day, you pick the channel, you go and you sit and you just watch this panel of experts discuss your favorite topics. So I definitely encourage you to get your bums in your seats and do that, because usually geeks and nerds, we have to pay like premium dough to get in on these panels. And yes, Clobby just put up a link. It's just right above your comment, Pleasant Valley Picker.
That's the schedule right there.
That's the schedule. Okay, so there's the schedule. Yeah, and just make sure that you look through that beautiful catalog of shows that Michael has conceived with his wife. I'm sorry, I forget her.
Melinda has done just an extraordinary. She is just like she did last year, just busting it, just putting this thing together, doing all this work. Both of them are doing a lot of great work.
Yeah,
honestly, I mean, it's just a tireless job. I mean, just she's going all out as she did last year. It's just they both are just so great at this, and I don't know if they're hearing me now, but love you guys, and I know you're just swamped getting this thing together. It's going to be extraordinary.
I just think that this is such a great idea. It is so good for geeks and nerds. It is so good for con goers, like Comic-Con goers, these pop culture fairs that everyone goes to. I mean, and I can't even believe it's free. So make sure you get access to that catalog and get on over there and see what Melinda and Michael have organized. This promises to be such a great convention. So just do it.
And please go to Retro Blasting's page if you have not already subscribed to them, and they have an Iconicon playlist of all their panels they did last year, which were extraordinary as well. So I did one called Comic Shops of the 80s. And then, of course, there was this one that I'm just proud as punch to be involved with. And I thank them so much for letting me host the panel. So, yeah, go check out that schedule. And it's fantastic. And I guess that probably does it for the show notes. Although after that panel, I'll be doing a late, we will have a late version of the Clubhouse on that Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. I love you, Eric K.
And well, let's see here. I guess we will start saying our hellos really quickly, and
let's do it.
And then we'll get underway. We'll get to work tonight. We have 3 episodes tonight, folks. J-Man, and now J-Man had to run, I do believe, but always we give the shout out to our great friend, And a
Yeah,
good
we
buddy
love
is,
Jason.
yeah, we love
He's
J-Man. He's
such
the
a
man.
great person. He has a YouTube channel. He's also an author. He's selling his short stories and his books. His wife is also an author. So please look J-Man up on Twitter, and please look up his work. He links on his Twitter to his work that he is publishing through Amazon Kindle. Please support indie authors. You know, Jason has been a huge supporter of my work here in Canada and in the United States, and he's worked tirelessly to get people to read my stuff. I love that person. That guy's a really great guy. He has like
He's
a
amazing.
background in film and production and publishing and all sorts of stuff, and he's just a wonderful person. Please support J-Man.
Absolutely. So we'll start. We'll get our hellos out there, and then we'll get down to business.
Let's do it.
I already said that. Okay. I already forgot I said it. Phantom Outsider, what's up, buddy? Welcome.
Phantom Outsider.
Pleasant Valley Picker, hello.
BC.
Your Muslim uncle, I do believe he had to run, but hail.
Hello.
Our wonderful communications officers here. Jill, antiderivative. Jill, good to see you there.
Glorious nerd, my fellow nerd. Let's nerd out with these geeks. I love you.
Deedisness. Oops. Okay. Max Redstone, master of all that is limerickness. But he doesn't.
Maximum limericks.
He is maximum
Hey,
indeed.
maybe that should be the title of his Saturday night Star Trek limerick book.
I hope he calls it maximum limericks or whatever.
Maximum limericks. Wouldn't that be great?
Indeed. Gwagnar. What's up, buddy?
Who?
Gwagnar.
Gwagnar.
I knew you'd want to say that. Let's see here. Kal-El, what's up, buddy?
The real soup.
Good to see you.
Even M.
The Catman, aka Dee Dee Myers. How do? Hope you and your lovely wife are doing well.
Yeah, Catman do.
Pop culture curator. Hello there, sir.
Hey. Nice to see you.
Always good to see you. The great Steve Mitchum, aka Maddie's daddy, was in here earlier, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope Maddie's doing well. Hope you're feeling better, Steve. I think you were a little under the weather there, but I hope you're better, buddy.
Thor in Vegas.
That he is. Shooter 8323. Hello there, Shooter.
Pew.
What she said. Listen, the great enigmatic one who drops the bears for us. He drops knowledge for sure. I don't know if he's ever dropped a bear.
Drops mics, knowledge
and all that stuff. Hello there, buddy. Good to see you. The great enigmatic drop bear. It is always an honor to have you here. And the new grandma. Well, that's probably not the kind of thing you want people to run around saying, but she's happy and proud though, and learning things. Wendy Webb.
Hey, Wendy Webb.
Lovely Wendy Webb. That is lovely to see you. Michael Beacom, what's up, man?
Hey, and Cassandra. Hello, Michael. Hello, Cassandra. Nice to see you guys.
Good to see you. Scotty R37. Hello there, Scotty. Welcome.
Hey, Scotty! And yes, Scotty, I am Canadian.
He is. She is. Everyone is. We're all Canadian, really, aren't we? Oh, there's Cassandra. And Cassandra is actually in the chat. Hello there, Cassandra.
Hey, sweetness. So good to see you. It's great to see your name in the chat.
Yeah, good to see you there. I hope you're doing well. Master of all that is great bronze wrenching, the bronze wrencher himself, Eric K. What's up, brother?
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Blowing millions of kisses your way.
And Zathras is here.
Crap.
Comic Relief Crusader, what's up, bub?
Hello. Alberta.
Hello there. Tyrell 72, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here. Just Joe Jobber Buddy, what's going on, man?
Hi, nice to see you. Thank you for stopping in.
Hope you're doing well. Our great pal, Snail Messiah. Good to see you there. Anaxamanda Bear. Hello. Always great to see you.
Hello.
Hey, Jeff Morris. Good to see you, sir.
Hi, Jeff.
And I don't I don't have anyone else right now, but maybe anyone who pops in, we will of course endeavor to acknowledge them promptly. But it looks.
The Comic Relief Crusader, Alberta, has a request. He says, say it like Joe, Raquel. So for all you Canadians out there, I am Canadian.
Well done. Well done.
I hope you like that, Comic Relief Crusader. I do requests. So we'll
definitely shout out anyone who does pop in, but I do want to give a special shout out to everyone out there who watches either on a later download, if you will, or the repeat, or however you want to put it. We really appreciate you. We don't say enough that how much we just are happy and grateful that you listen, grateful that you watch. I say listen as a habit because I was podcasting this thing for the first 11 years, so But anyway, and okay, just thank you so much. Anyone who's listening to this later on a repeat, we really appreciate you so much. Anonymous, what's up, man?
Yeah, Anonymous walked through the door, and so did Dadman.
Dadman, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Now, I do want to say also a shout out to our old buddy Raymond Feliciano. I think it was announced today by Doomcock that he has come down a bit. He's sick.
Yep.
And not feeling well, and I don't know if he'll hear this later or whatever. Either way, but he's good. They've been here for so long with us. He and this senator have been here a lot, almost all the time. So, and they've been friends with the show, and just wishing them the best, everybody. So, good vibes to them, or pray, or whatever you want to do for Raymond that he recovers.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that I let that I said hello, because watches after we're done, because he's on a different schedule. And I also want to give a shout out to the Irishman, my fellow Irish person, Eric O'Sullivan, who also watches on a different schedule. He has to get up really early. He's a chef, and so he's got to get up early to prep that kitchen, get that kitchen going. So
to both of you, I apologize I've never really realized that. So otherwise I'd shout just the same as everyone else. So if you are either one of you or my buddy Eric O'Sullivan do happen to be watching this on a repeat later, best to you, my friends. And I hope to see you pop in one of these days soon live, but I know you can't make it live. So just thank you so much for watching. And Eric, dude, it's been forever since we don't do the Global Geek Gang anymore. It's been forever, buddy, but I hope you're doing well. Okie dokie. Well, for those who don't know, we'll quickly explain what we do here, because you kind of have to do that in the broadcasting world to make sure that anyone new who shows up gets an idea of what you're all about. What we do here on Saturday Night Star Trek. This is number 76 of Saturday Night Star Trek that we started. Although we did some Star Trek Saturday Night stuff before this. We started at number 1. I started issue number 1 at us reviewing all of Star Trek. And what I mean by that is Star Trek that takes place from 1966, first aired, to 2005. Anything after that with the Star Trek label on it is not considered legitimate Star Trek by myself or anyone on my crew. Now, again, by the way, if you're new here and you still want to see good reviews of stuff and you don't agree, that's fine. All opinions are well and accepted. But right here, we call anything after 2005 the filth. Just so you'll know, no one has to agree. It's just the way we see it. And so we're reviewing all of legitimate Star Trek. If you see that number 735 up there, my wonderful first officer, R.M. Briggs, Commander R.M. Briggs, has determined that there are, if you count up each by segment, how many installments or episodes, however you want to put it, there are of real Star Trek from 66 to 05, original series, animated series, original crew films, TNG, DS9, TNG films also, DS9, and Voyager and Enterprise. There are 735 installments. So we are the 735 Club, thanks to her, great name she came up with. And what we're doing here is we review multiple episodes each night. We are now toward the tail end of season 7 of Star Trek The Next Generation. We usually do about 4 episodes per night. We'll be doing 3 tonight so that we can save the big season ender wrap party for next week, where we will review the final episode, all good things, and then review the series in general as a whole. So tonight you have 3 episodes, and here is the text or the source that our wonderful number one goes by when we do our reviews. And I will now turn the con over to her, and she will explain herself, and then we will get on our reviews.
Well, thank you so much, boss. Yeah, the boss, the captain, just put up an image of a book called Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block. She is a prolific writer of, this licensed and authorized material for the Star Trek franchise. She gets a little bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, but he's riding second chair here. But Terry is an author in his own right. He also writes for Star Trek. If you're just listening in on a podcast and you're not active in the chat, you might miss the fact that underneath those names, it says introduction by Ronald D. Moore. And throughout the book, and certainly at the beginning and at the end, you see the wide endorsement of everyone involved in the production, writing, acting, just everyone involved in making Star Trek The Next Generation. And that's what makes it such a great book. It's all fine and good to get stuff off of these user-generated sites on the internet, but a lot of it, I'm sorry, it's just true, a lot of it is wrong. And so it's good to get this vetted material out there, reveal some production stuff, maybe, dispel some rumors, tell you something you didn't know. But it's also a great launching off point for us because this book gives you such a tight little synopsis. And we use this synopsis as a sounding board. And then Clobby and I, we talk about the episode. And then we do something very unique. Certainly it was very unique when we started. No one else was doing it. Or we were among the very first. But we throw it to the chat. We wanted this to be like a con. We wanted it to be like a bunch of Trekkies just meeting to talk about Star Trek. And so we throw it over to the chat, and then we have a rating and commentary system where you can throw up your rating. We rated A, B, C, D like you did in university or college. And then you can just throw up any comments you have about how you feel about the episode. And that way we get to celebrate Star Trek together and just be Trekkies together for a whole night. And that's what we're going to be doing here this evening.
Indeedishness. So are we ready for our first episode of the evening?
Let's do it, boss. Let's do it.
Our first episode is Bloodlines. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you laughing at? What? I don't get it. I don't see the humor here. It's just a picture.
So if you're just listening in as a podcast and you're not live in the chat seeing the visuals in front of you, Clobby has made a show poster that is very, very, very interesting. So definitely check it out when you have a chance. It's quite comical.
I just took one random off the internet. I didn't do that. What you did that? Who put that all over there? My goodness.
All right, folks. That poster that the boss made is for the episode Bloodlines. Bloodlines is season 7, episode 22. We all watched Bloodlines for the very first time on May 2nd, 1994. Well, most of us anyways. And I am going to be reading from that block text. I'm going to be reading extemporaneously. So that means that everything that happens on this show is 100% organic. I don't pre-read from the text, and Clobby and I don't talk about the episodes prior to the broadcast. We want to keep it organic. We want to keep it fresh. So fresh, you're likely to slap it. And and so I might make some mistakes while I'm reading. I'm cold reading. Be nice. Put down your fruit. Please turn your hymnal, the block text, to page 349. Newly released from prison, vengeful Damon Bach sends a disturbing message to Picard. He plans to avenge the death of his son by killing Picard's own offspring, a young man named Jason Vigo. Although Picard is unaware of the existence of any offspring, he tracks down Jason. When Crusher establishes that the young man is indeed his child, Picard attempts to protect Jason by keeping him on board until Bach is captured. but he doesn't figure on Bach's possession of a subspace transporter capable of moving a person across billions of kilometers of space.
Wonder where that's
TN
from.
Sorry, boss, what's that?
No, I'm saying done before. It's been done before.
TNG's Ferengi hadn't worked out. A species whose culture was dedicated to lining their pockets just didn't fit in on a series where the heroes didn't have pockets. Although meant to represent a serious threat, no one took them seriously. And although given humorous mannerisms, they weren't particularly funny. They were the Rodney Dangerfields of space. They didn't get no respect from Star Trek audience. But that was beginning to change. As Bloodlines went into production, there were quite a few Ferengi earning a living across the street from TNG sound stages. On stage 18, where Deep Space Nine's beautiful promenade was situated, a different genus of Ferengi had emerged. Its progenitor, a bartender named Quark. His conception had taken place 2 years earlier when Michael Piller began thinking about the characters who would reside on the space station. It was clear to me that having a Ferengi aboard Deep Space Nine would provide the show with instant humor and built in conflict, Piller told the authors of this book in 1994. I saw Quark as the bartender, who is a constant thorn in the side of law and order, but who has a sense of humor about it. The key word there was humor. Brought on as DS9 showrunner, Ira Stephen Bear took that ball and ran with it, developing the psyche, motivation, and culture of his alien charges. Bear and his staff took the theme "Greed is Good" to a hysterical extreme, codifying it into a sort of Ferengi constitution, the rules of acquisition. All 285 of them. And what a set of rules it was. Once you have their money, you never give it back, states rule number one. I didn't know that was the first rule of acquisition. Once you have their money, never give it back. Words every Ferengi lives by. Suddenly, Ferengi avarice not only made sense, it explained everything about their social development. In TNG's Bloodlines, Berta tells Picard that Bach was able to buy himself out of prison. No doubt that was covered by Rule 177. Know your enemies, but do business with them always. Bloodlines could have been the last Ferengi episode, but DS9 gave this species a chance to evolve, and miraculously, viewers actually began to like them. In fact, they became so popular that a branch of Quark's Bar opened on Earth, yes, as a part of Star Trek The Experience themed attraction in 1998. Did good business too. But then it was Las Vegas, a place where every schmo on the strip understands Rule 284. Deep down, everyone's a Ferengi. That's very interesting coverage. My husband actually went to Quark's Bar in Las Vegas, and he had a bar card, and he gave it to me. And I was happy to accept his bar card, but I was also upset because I never got to go to Quark's Bar. I never had the chance to attend the bar. And that is all the block text has to say about Bloodlines. Boss man, what did you think of the coverage, and what did you think of the episode?
Well, first, hello there, Nerdporio Live Forum and Interested
Hello.
in Stuff. Welcome to you
Hello.
both. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Yeah, it's interesting coverage. I think the episode. Actually, you know what? I used to like. I actually, when it first came out, the episode, the battle. I kind of, for the by first season standards, I kind of enjoyed. That was one of the first ones I thought was at least an interesting episode. It wasn't great or anything, of course. I got you, Max. I hear you, buddy. Thank you, Max. But I always thought it was, I guess at the time as a youngin, I thought it was an okay episode. I never really had, thought it was particularly bad or anything. Doing the sequel, having a villain coming back for revenge, it's a little bit of a stretch. But I get it. But mainly this episode, it's just, I don't have anything necessarily, except that stupid subspace transporter thing, terrible to say about it. I just don't really think it was particularly interesting or compelling either. I mean, this is, uh, I don't really care if Picard has a son or not. I'd rather
Yep.
see the guy wanting to, I'd almost rather see more done with Damon Bach than just this. And it was only, and the Damon Bach part's only used as an excuse to give Picard a temporary son, a temporary adult son, for some whatever little character study crap they wanted to do, and it didn't really thrill me or anything. I mean, I guess some people probably find that kind of TV drama compelling and like it and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't particularly of any great interest to me.
I totally agree. I just absolutely 1000% agree. I'm so sick and tired of Star Trek the drama, Star Trek the mystery theater, Star Trek the Hardy Boys, Star Trek the Nancy Drew, Star Trek the Murder She Wrote. How about just Star Trek science fiction?
How about that? That would be something.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, certainly well, we all know how there were way, way, way worse, more atrocious episodes. It just wasn't particularly all that interesting to me. And it goes, and by the way, it's, but something's going to happen by the end of the episode where he won't be his son.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. There's no real, I mean, even if you just want to judge it on its merits and to, as a drama, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they're going to have the nuts, the balls to give him a son, which they did with Kirk in Wrath of Khan. That was a pretty ballsy move to give him a son, and it
was marvelous.
That was, and it was done well. It was pertinent to the story. It really fit into the story, really fit into the episode or the film rather, and it worked on more levels, and it was far more credible than this. This almost would have had maybe actually had a little bit more gravitas if he really was his son.
Yep. Oh wow, now you're starting to sound like my notes.
But the chicken shit crap about him, it was just some kind of fake. It's like that Damon Bach came up with. I mean, because Picard believed it, because it was, hey Dave, Bob, what's up, buddy?
Hey Dave,
it was
nice
credible
to see
him.
you.
Good to see you, bud.
I said Dave Bob.
Dave, I say Dave, son. What's up, son? It was credible to Picard, considering the relationship he'd had. I think I would have had a little bit more respect for them if they made him really his son, instead of this silly, dopey plot where the Damon just made a way to change his whatever to mess with his DNA, whatever the hell he did.
And that's never explained. Like he's had this, extreme procedure done to him, and he's blissfully unaware of it. This is weird.
Yes, indeed. So notes.
These are my notes. So if you're new around here and you're like, why do they keep talking about these notes? I watch Star Trek all 735 every year starting in January. So I thought, what could I add to this organic conversation? And then I thought, I think I'll take notes and I'll write down the things that I know about the episode or the things I feel about the episode. So I take out an actual piece of paper and an actual pencil and I take notes. And here they are. It's weird that Jason believes he can be beamed back to where he was free climbing with his fingers gripping. So when he does like the little spirit fingers on the rock and he's like, beam me back, that's really dumb. And then I put unprotected intercourse. Shame on you, Jean-Luc. Of course, done in a little Waxana voice. Shame on you, Jean-Luc. Nick Sagan, Carl Sagan's son, wrote this. Unfortunately, a story about Jean-Luc's son isn't science fiction. It's soap opera. It's drama. Jean-Luc is disappointed his son is a loser. Miranda chose to raise Jason alone and not tell Jean-Luc. There is no reason for Jason to be so hostile and bitter. The transporter being used by a Ferengi defies science. And remember, once you defy science present or science possible, it's no longer science fiction. It's fantasy. And this thing has insane range. In fact, in dialogue, they state that this transporter has a range of several, and I'm quoting here, folks, directly, this is verbatim, several light years. Chris Persia, mwah, mwah. Hey, how are you? This is not a good precedent to set. So they do this, the inexperienced
Chris.
writers do this often with the show, and it's not good. Even though we're at the end, we know that there are going to be other iterations of Star Trek.
Yeah.
They're already underway. So why set a precedent where there could be transporter that works several light years away? This is poppycock. And then I wrote, Bev gets the soft lens like the ladies on TOS. And what's really funny is as they go back and forth with the camera, you can see Jean-Luc, you can see Poopy Stew, and he looks normal. And then, of course, she gets the Vaseline lens. I thought that it was quite adorable. Jean-Luc climbs the literal and figurative walls to Jason. This is not Edgar Allan Poe, so it's cheesy. If you're going to climb the literal and figurative walls of Jason, Jean-Luc, please do it on your own time. This is so cheesy, it makes me want to gag. Jean-Luc is a good man, a good dad. Let's compare these moments to Worf. Let's compare these moments to the pathetic Captain Mercer. Warp 9, they go Warp 9, despite the interspecies intergalactic rules. And what's that?
Nothing. Go ahead. I was saying, oops.
Yeah. And then I put, whoops, I guess he's not his kid after all. And then I put, Federation has no money, so why would any Ferengi believe Jean-Luc Picard in the Federation would pay a ransom? No one would believe that. That's dumb. Why did the Ferengi say that? I'm sorry, Nick Sagan. I love your father very much. Love Carl Sagan, but that was a dumb thing to do. And where is the editing team here? Let's get some editors on this. And then I put this is not science fiction. It's weird, and it becomes an unfulfilling fraud. It would have been far better to make this guy his real son. And those are all my notes.
And Dave, Bob, that was one of the things I thought this Jar Jar Abrams liked transporters, but also there was an episode of Enterprise in the 4th season where subspace transporters, the guy who created the transporter messed with him for a while, and he said it's never. Basically, he tried to fool the Federation into thinking they were going to be around so he could try to find his son who was lost in a transporter accident. And he himself said, the inventor of the transporter, said that they're never going to be possible, and he explained why. I know it was a couple of hundred years before TNG, but still, the point being is, it was a dumb idea.
Mm-hmm.
Come up with some other dumb reason that they can get in there. But anyway, pretty lame stuff.
Well, it's also about moving, right? It's also about moving. So if you're on a ship going Warp 9,
right,
and you use a transporter, like in TOS, they directly address this so that you can stay immersed in the story, and you're like, oh yeah, I wouldn't want to be transported if the if there's any type of variance in the speed of the vehicle whatsoever, I materialize in a bulkhead. So but here it's just whatever. Like there's no science.
They didn't care. They didn't give a crap. So why should we? But we do. Well, what is your rating? Oh. Yeah, well, yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I'm ready. I know what I'm back in my place. All right. What is your rating, number one, of the episode Bloodlines? I'll give mine. Then I will ask our wonderful friends in the chat to give any rating they might have, and then, of course, any words they might have. But first, before you guys do that, number one, your rating of Bloodlines.
Yes, hold your fire until the word is given, folks. I'm going to go ahead and give this a C-. I don't hate it, but it's not good. When I hate something, I give it a D. When I really hate something, I give it an F. There's nothing really to hate here, but it's genuinely not good. It's a C-, boss.
Yeah, I gave it a C. There's almost nothing, certainly nothing really to hate, but not much to like. I mean, actually, that actor, he was around a little bit in some stuff back then. I actually some of the interaction between him and Picard, and Picard trying to think what we would like to have a son. I didn't mind a lot of that, but I just don't think it can wrap a whole episode around it. And again, I might be a little more kind to the episode if you didn't cheat at the end and just say, "Oh no, he wasn't really his son after all," which shows no courage.
And the fact that would have been an extensive medical procedure, and yet he does not recall being kidnapped. He doesn't have any lapse in his memory.
Yeah.
It just
doesn't work.
It's not good writing. I love you, Nick Sagan. I love your father. Your father is like a titan to me. Your dad means a great, great deal to me. I love Carl Sagan. But you pooped the bed on this one, Nick.
Yeah. They were getting toward the end. They didn't care. All right, everyone, please. Now, the word is given. And while you are writing your reviews and ratings, it is time for a Max Redstone limerick. How about some Max Redstone entertainment for you all? And number one will assume the star, the star post.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, number one. Well, I take mine off the screen.
So the boss is going to read some limericks, folks, and I want you to please put in your rating first so that I can identify it, and any comments you have thereafter, I will start, and then we will read it as a community. But first, the boss is going to read some Max Redstone. So get those ratings up and posted, folks. I'm going after them now.
Max Redstone's limericks, folks. Yes, Bloodlines by Max Redstone. Here we go. Captain Picard is warned that he has a son, so maybe Jean-Luc thinks it will be fun to climb a holodeck rock and avoid Damon Bach. Like Jason's DNA, this story is quite underdone. Whoa!
Whoa!
Well, excellent, my friend. Very, very good. The great Max Redstone, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, dokie. So while number one is catching the comments there, I will move to the starred post and start reading your reviews and comments. Pleasant Valley Picker says, well, another one I don't really remember, which means it was not memorable. I'll give it a C-, as it couldn't be really awful if it made no impression on my mind. Mediocrity is so forgettable. Yeah.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Please excuse me, but he's an old friend, so let's make sure that we say good night to Dave Bob, who is just popped in and he's popping right back out. So right, nice to see you, Dave. Thank you for supporting the show. Have a wonderful weekend, sir.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Good to see you, man. Interested in stuff, says perhaps the Ferengi beamed in the genetic changes with the same subspecies transporter. Who knows? The Catman, aka D.D. Meyer, says, Clobby, I agree with what you and Raquel have said. I give this episode D. It truly bored me to death, but did watch it to the end. Truly thought the writing of the episode was royally, the episode royally sucked for me.
I totally agree. Dee, I totally agree.
Fair enough, sir. Indeed. Thank you, DD. Guagnar says a C-. Below average episode, not good enough to remember, not bad enough to mock. Yes.
Oh, great. Guagnar.
But I mocked it anyways. You could say, what the hell? More like a mocking PR than the actual episode, to be honest. But yeah, nothing against the young fillers and the actor necessarily. Zathras says D-. When I saw these three episodes for review, I had an urge to yell to the heavens, "I'm coming, Elizabeth! I'm coming, Elizabeth! This is the big one!" Oh, I love me from Fred Sanford.
Crap.
Donna Moss says, there once was a man from Nantucket. That's a review. What? That's a review?
No, I just thought it was clever, so I thought you would like to put it up because he put it up when you were reading Maximum limericks, so I thought it was cute.
Oakley Dokley. Thank you, Anonymous. Michael Beacom says D+. The fact that they talk about DS9 more than the episode in the TNG book says it all.
Right?
Writers had totally checked out. Script written by copy and paste from previous episodes.
Yeah, and they were
Yes,
working
sir.
on the film at this time too. So it's like not only are they working on DS9 and they're trying to launch Voyager, but they're also working on the film. So they just don't even give a crap about TNG anymore. And that is true, Michael Beacom. That is the timeline.
Why do I sense they really wanted Picard on the Maury Povich stage with a grinning Damon Bach holding a test tube saying, Picard, you are the father. It would have been better than this.
You are the father.
You can picture a new intern on the set going, why are they all wearing uniforms and the rooms are all blinky lights? DP, this is a science fiction series. Intern, it is? Nobody told me.
Oh, what a great comment.
Well done,
Love
Michael.
that comment.
I'm seeing 2, 3, and 4 of Jill's, but where's your first one?
I don't know. Let's hope that
the
chat didn't burp. If the chat burped, I mean, it's not like it's.
I'll leave those for you, but yeah, if you want to search back for the first one.
I am looking for her first one. Sometimes it burps like that. I hate it when it does.
Oh, it does. That. It burps, and you can, and it'll yeah. It drives me crazy with the chat. It does jump a lot. Phantom Outsider says, "C, but poopy stew irresponsible behavior is somehow considered an extreme emergency, and so you can use Warp 9. Apparently, this behavior is common in Starfleet."
Jill, sweetheart, I have your 2 of 4 showing as your first comment after you were talking in the chat to everyone else. I do not have your 1 of 4. It is not it did not come through on this side of StreamYard. Your very first comment with regard to this episode is at 10 minutes to the hour. Could you please repost your 1 of 4, Jill? Thanks, sweetheart.
If you have it, or approximate as much as best you can, at least. Imagine how Jason feels. Picard can't even remember his mom, right? Picard is such a playboy. Data can't compute the entries in Picard library spanning Little Black Book, considering the level 2. Let's see here.
And that's the last thing I have on him. Interject very, very quickly. I beg your pardon, boss, but Captain Cockney Spock just walked through the door.
Hey, Cap. What's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, Captain. Okay, let's see here. I don't have the third one for Phantom yet, so let's see. Or do I? No, I don't. Not yet.
Just a huge dump it just dumped like 15.
Nerdporial Lifeform says 3 out of 5. They couldn't even get Frank Corsentino back. Oh, is that who
That's
played
true. They changed
Damon
the
Bach
actor
in the first one? Yeah. In the battle, I actually didn't mind the battle. I always thought it was an okay episode.
Boss man,
yes.
Eric K threw up Jill's 1 of 4, and now I can actually see her first comment.
Cool. Thanks,
I wonder
Eric.
why it vaporized her
Appreciate
first comment.
Buddy. It could be a stream or I don't know. It's weird. Dadman says no rating. Glad the series is about over, ready to move on to something new, returning to my couch now. Okay, good review. Eric, okay, and by the way, Dadman, feel better, but if you're not feeling well, or get some rest, man. And eat ice cream. Eric K says D+, not as bad as last week, but largely forgettable, which is good compared to those stinkers we just watched. Writing plot holes and inconsistencies. P Hard, wrap that rascal. We need more. We need no more of you. Wow.
We need no more of you. Everyone in the chat. I don't know why it's not appearing on this side, but it looks like we have a bit of a bug in the chat on this side of StreamYard. Please be patient. I am absolutely starring everything that you put up, but if it's not here, I can't star it. So please be patient. We have the best wrenches in the whole wide world, and they will help us get over the burps and the blackout on this side. Thank you for your patience.
Maddie's daddy, Steve Mitchum, says F. I haven't watched it twice, so that kind of says it all. Also, the son you never knew about trope is so played out. I mean, even making him a daughter would have been an ever so slight step up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A good pernt. Ba, 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 ba. Kal-El says, "See, this episode didn't really leave enough of an impact for me to either like or really dislike it. In fact, I actually found myself not caring whether or not Picard was Jason's father. While,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah,
You don't, it's not like you're attached to the idea of it. You're not cheering for it, which is actually really sad.
yeah, you should, yeah, you should be able to feel more.
Mm-hmm.
Watching it, this episode is usually skipped when I rewatch the series as a whole. I
Yeah.
don't blame you.
What a really, really nice set of comments, Stephen M. Thank you.
Yes. And Phantom's third one is of regret. Picard displays in generations. You'd think the regret he displays in generation. You'd think he'd revisit the little black book to see if he did have any illicit kids.
That's what you think in retrospect, hey. You can't help but think of that in retrospect, Fanty. Totally do too.
Yep. D for interested in stuff said the climbing wall was too simple. No one was wearing any anti-grav belt.
Yeah, but that's a good point because what would have been the safety features for that free climb?
Well, the holodeck has safety safeties. I suppose if one of them falls, it stopped. It somehow there's some kind of force field thing or some kind of soft landing. It doesn't let them like land splatter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm sure
because what is it? It's like a 25-foot ceiling, right?
Yeah, it would something would kick in and yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's turned off. One would think that's what they.
Yeah.
Not an accident. Amanda says, "See, it could have been better, but once again, they're all too busy golfing or fishing for marlin." Yeah, that's a good point too. At that point, they really didn't. They were very checked out.
Phoning it in from Italy.
Wendy Webb says C-. This episode is utterly forgettable. I think alcohol made the episode worse. Wow.
Love it, Wendy.
Max Redstone says rating. What is that? An F? It's supposed to be a minus F, but I can't make head or tail of that rating. Max, what's wrong with you, dude? You know I can't.
Your agonizer, please.
Damn it, man. Damn it. A Zathras level drug problem in the writers' room. They were all smoking crack. So what are you trying to say here? Are you trying to say this?
Crap.
So let's see here. Number one. Okay. There's all right. So you have Jill and you have enigmatic drop bear collected up. Okay. If you would like to do the honors,
I will go over to
and I'll switch with you and see if do we have no other ones at that point? That's everybody so far.
That's all I've got so far. I don't know what's on what you can see on your side, but there are a lot of comments missing. And Wendy said she deleted hers, but it didn't delete on my side. I still had her comments. So there's some funk. There's some funk going on. Okay, here we go, folks.
Good.
Let's start with antiderivative Jill. And she's going to give she's got a 4-parter on this, and she's going to give this episode a D+. I just want to give a shout out to the great bronze wrencher, Eric K. Love you. Mwah, because this comment did not appear on my side of StreamYard. As the stars turns begins with Picard discovering he has a son who turns out not to be his. He saves him and then just dumps him back home and doesn't help him despite developing rapport. So true. 2 of 4. A mystery is fabricated by eliminating transporter special effects. At least Jason is a charming actor because this episode is boring. 3 of 4. She says, Bach being extraordinarily lucky enough to find someone Picard had an affair with long ago who had a kid that could be his is highly unlikely, almost to unbelievability.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And this is what I mean. Like normally people would say things to Jill like, "Oh, you're being too hard on the story," or "Why are you nitpicking it?" And people say, "Oh, nitpicking." No, Jill's right, because if at any point you feel pulled out of the story because it's incredulous, that's the mistake of the author, not the mistake of the viewer. We live in an epoch. The zeitgeist of this time is that you blame the viewer, not while I'm around. I'm not going to allow that to happen. That's poppycock. You blame the author. Anyways, 4-4. Jill says, I guess if T cells can become a virus to resequence DNA, then why not give Buck his superpower? Subspace transporters with light year ranges? What is this? JJ Trek? And I don't even know what to say about this review. I think this review is so excellent.
Absolutely.
Jill, absolutely love it. Thank you so much.
You know, I did remember one thing I did enjoy about the episode, though.
What?
When when Troy comes to him to try to pull her counselor crap on him, and just acts like a total sexist pig to her. I'm like, good. It's like, hey, baby, you want to go to my quarters and do it?
Well, you can't blame him because, like, she goes to his quarters. Why wouldn't she call him to her office? Why, like, to her therapy room? Why would she go directly to his quarters? Hi there, it's midnight. I heard you need some counseling.
And he's not a prim and proper Starfleet officer. This guy's, he's actually just an interesting, like, dude who has problems, and he's a normal kind of guy. He's like, hi, baby. Or did you come over here to score? Sorry. I'm sorry. I've been look. I laughed my ass off so much last night at the new Beavis and Butthead that I still feel like I'm Beavis today, or Butthead. I'm mostly Butthead. I'm going to do the show like the snow. Star Trek sucks, but Picard never really scored. He's too much of a wimp. Anyway, that's very good. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, I love the impressions. Please keep them coming. Okay, so let's move on to Enigmatic Drop Bear. He is an erudite bear. He often drops the mic round this place. I look forward to these well-wrought comments and just this inspiring conversation, intelligent conversation. I love Enigmatic Drop Bear. So let's get to it. Enigmatic Drop Bear is going to give 4 comments on this episode, and he's going to give the episode a C. He says the concocted story about Picard having a son was ultimately superfluous. It is an example of the writers prioritizing soap operatic themes over good science fiction. Oh my goodness, I totally agree.
Absolutely.
2 of 4. Bach's Vendetta story had potential. I agree with that. And so does the boss. I like that comment. A game of cat and mouse between Picard and Bach enabled using the experimental technology, and a battle of wits would likely have been an improvement. Totally agree. 3 of 4. Why did they concentrate their scan on only the southern continent, where there were only like 7, maybe 8 human life forms? What about the rest of the planet? And then 4 of 4. How was it that the Enterprise's sensors don't could only barely make out there was a human 2 kilometers underground, but they were almost immediately able to beam up that person? I know, it's like, I don't know. It's just not good writing. It's just not good writing. I love you, Enigmatic Drop Bear. I absolutely love your comments. I love your insight. I totally agree.
You rock, sir. ED, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode, it kind of sucked in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, no, there are way worse ones. Yes, it's not worth like beating up on too much or anything. Counselor calls are extra.
Sorry, I had to put that up. I thought it was cute.
Needishness. So I guess that wraps up that one.
It does. It does.
Are we ready to move on?
And, you know, they're not going out with a bang, are they, folks?
No, not so far. Huh?
No. Shall we move on to the next one, boss?
Shall we indeed? Let's go for it. That would be the Emergence, right?
More of this. Like, why? Why? Emergence, season 7, episode 23. We all watched this painfully, regrettably, and I watch it over and over again for the very first time on May 9th, 1994. Let's stay copyright compliant, shall we? I'm going to be reading excerpts from the book Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. Please turn to page 350 as we discuss emergence. But let's put on the brakes. Put on the brakes. Don't eject the warp core, but put on the brakes for a second. Cardi just walks through the door. He has a very generous gift for you, boss. Gil, it is so nice to see you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and this show.
Cardinal Sin, Gil, buddy, thank you so much. You are too kind, too generous, my friend. I hope you are doing well. Having a great night. Thank you for the 1999 super sticker, my friend. And I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Also, Tiny Metal Trees, hello to you as well.
Hey, Tiny Metal Trees.
But appreciate you so much there. Thank you. Thank you, Cardi.
Yeah, you're a sweetheart. Everyone, please follow Cardinal Sin. He has a YouTube channel. He also has a Twitter account, and he does amazing, interesting stuff. Please follow our friend Gil, and thank you so much, Gil, for being here tonight.
I will get that link and put that in. And it's in my chat, my description below. But I will definitely get that link and put it in the chat, Cardinal.
And would someone please tell us what the super sticker is? We don't see it on this side of StreamYard where they don't tell us what it is. If you guys could please tell us what Gil sent us, it would be really cool. Okay, from page 350, let's do it. A string of bizarre and unexplained malfunctions leads Data to postulate that the Enterprise may be somehow on the verge of achieving sentience. The holodeck provides all the clues. There, the passengers aboard an antique train seem to represent different aspects of the ship. As Troy attempts to find out what the passengers are looking for, the Enterprise takes itself into warp and heads for a white dwarf star for reasons unclear to the Starfleet crew. Is it possible that the ship is protecting and nurturing new life form that grows in one of the cargo bays? And then it moves directly to some dialogue. And I'm going to read that dialogue to you now.
Super pair running, fist pumping with the word gold. Thank you so much, Shooter. Appreciate that. And so, thank you, Eric. Eric beat me to it. Thank you, Eric.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Okay, and so now there's some dialogue, and I will read it. Brannon's original story was insane. My teleplay was worse. Well, at least they admit it. That's how writer Joe Menosky describes emergence. And remember, folks, if you're new around here, just remember that Joe Menosky is the person who walked up to Gene Roddenberry, handed him some tickets to a holiday, and said, "You finished writing here," at least according to the block text. So that's verified. It's not a rumor. I'm going to keep going. The episode was another long-distance teleplay assigned to TNG's unofficial Italian bureau. When Brannon Braga, hard at work on the series finale with Ron Moore, had no time to bring emergence to culmination, it was kind of a stab at artificial intelligence, Braga says now. But it wasn't wholly successful. Just kind of, let's go all out and do this wacky thing and put all sorts of incongruent elements together. But to be quite honest, it didn't cohere. And that is all the block text has to say about the mess that they decided to call emergence. What did you think of the coverage, Captain? And what did you think of the episode? Keely Chow!
Keely Chow, roll tide. Hey there.
And it's a dump raid from Scotty.
Oh,
Sporking News Podcast.
Hail Sporking. Oh, cool. Well, hail Sporking. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Keely. What now? Episode, did you say? I don't know. I think I went into a coma. I'm not sure I can review this one. I'm not sure I can. Stuff happened and things. I mean, obviously there are episodes I've really. I kind of wish it would have made me angry or something, so I could have felt something or could have had an opinion. I'm sure everyone else will take care of the opinions tonight on this one. The only thing I noted was David Huddleston was in it, the guy that played Santa Claus and was on a bunch of other stuff, and all these
Yeah.
other actors on this train were they were rocking around doing stuff on the holodeck, which was the ship was becoming sentient, but it was really these alien thingies that were. I give up. I look. You'll have to go along without me, folks. I don't know if I can handle this one. It just. I'm not saying it was particular. Look, I'm not even making fun of it. I'm like, I don't. Why didn't they just stop right here and just say, look, let's not even bother anymore because nobody cares. It's gobbledygook. Nothing makes any kind of sense with me on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Lebowski is the engineer. Okay, yeah.
Well, the engineer is Thomas Kopachi.
I think it's I don't know.
Kopache. I look. This is an international forum.
At least they weren't being Murder She Wrote or like L.A. Law or being like that drama that we just got through reviewing. Or I mean, we're trying to do a story.
It's worse. It's worse than that.
No. Oh, I hear you. I can't even formulate words about this. I was just like, got nothing.
It's terrible. Like it's so bad.
So bland. For me, it was more. Yeah, I guess it's bland. I mean, I just think this.
Well, for me, it's dumb. This is dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb. I can't even talk about it without getting aggravated about how dumb it is. So I'm just kind of like notes. Go with notes because I got to. I guess. Oh, Jesus Christ!
I'll just do my notes, but I would like to point everyone's attention to my fellow nerd and INTJ Jill. She said, "Was this episode written by the Packlids?"
Yes. Okay. Actually, yes. I think they credited it to them.
Seriously? No, actually, it was written by two nincompoops, Brandon Braga. Brandon Braga wrote it, and Joe Manosky did the teleplay, I believe. Wow. Let me just confirm that for you. Yeah, Joe Manosky did the teleplay, but the actual short story was written by Brandon Braga, and it is absolute. This isn't even fit to be like bathroom tissue. Let's just do it.
Yeah, Jill, exactly. It made me like. It can't hold my attention.
It's so bad. It held my attention because it was just so ludicrous and so nonsensical. It was like some sort of a drug trip that was being taken by a maniac. Okay, here are my notes. We open on Shakespeare's Tempest. You can see Brent Spiner's sheet note card that he has taped to the book. It appears and disappears. Who's directing this crap? You know who's directing this crap? Cliff Boyle. Cliff, what were you doing? Anyway, and Brent, I love you, Brent. Not only are you a cutie patootie, but you treat me like gold. When I walk into a room and you recognize my face, you always wave to me, even when people are standing in your line. I love you. But why didn't you memorize why didn't you memorize your lines for this Tempest part? Was it because you were also doing the film? I don't know. I don't want to be hard on you because Brent, I love you. And whenever you come to my city and make me feel important and recognize me right away, and I also think you're a good actor. So I'm not going to say anything bad about you because I love you, Brent Spiner. Okay, going to keep on talking now. I hate it when Poopy Stew pronounces data dater. You know, like how English people pronounce Emma Emmer. It's a British thing, and I wish that they would correct it because when he's like dater, you're like, what are you doing? Anyway, Warp 7.3, despite the intergalactic planetary agreement. And then I have in yelling all caps, the Enterprise is sentient. The train scene is absurd. This is utter nonsense. The Enterprise is constructing an exterior physical positronic brain. If the ship could conceive and execute this endeavor, it wouldn't require the additional physical apparatus, positronic brain nodes, that make a giant ship-sized positronic brain. These computations have already been achieved without physical manifestation. There's no requirement for it. And then underneath I put, they should shut down everything but life support. Then I put, why wouldn't the ship create the Verdion particles, like Geordi, if it has all the same information as Geordi and is using the holodeck as its quote unquote imagination. This is more like just complete utter nonsense. It's verbal diarrhea. It's so bad. Anyways, the Enterprise gives birth, and then the Enterprise is no longer sentient. And those are all my notes.
Oh, God.
This is so dumb. This may be the dumbest Star Trek ever made. It's that dumb.
Wow.
Brain and brain.
Man.
What is brain?
That's a bold statement right there, but it was dumb, and it was droll. It was boring, dreary. It was, oh my God, we want to get this show over with. It's what they wanted. They didn't give a crap. I guess
the Enterprise,
I don't know. And yet it managed to be.
Enterprise gave birth, and then just the Enterprise is that's it.
And yet it manages to be pretentious as well.
Yes, it's definitely pretending to be something it's not, by including Shakespeare's The Tempest. One of my favorite Shakespearean works. It has there is no connection to The Tempest here.
Indeedishness.
Just
indeedishness.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, terrible crap. And again, it's wow. What a way to end the show. Okay. Well, what is we'll knock this one out quick. Maybe let's knock this bitch where it belongs.
Yeah.
Your rating of emergency.
Yeah, as a communications and technology scholar and as a science fiction author, I can verify that this is absolute gobbledygook. This is an insult to the intelligence of anyone who is paying attention to the show. It's just absolutely one of the dumbest episodes of Star Trek ever made, and I'm giving it an F.
One day we're going to do show when we get all the shows reviewed, folks. We're going to do dumbest episodes. We're going to have a countdown. I mean, dumbest. We're going to have a contest. Which are the most idiotic episodes? If we did like 25, for example, I have a feeling that 80% of them would be TNG. I'm just kidding. We're going to be fair to all of them, but yeah, this was dumb. It was boring. It was. I mean, I think I just at this point I was so checked out. I'm trying to watch this thing, and I guess I've lost my ability to be angry with this show because you can tell in the past couple of weeks, episodes we've been reviewing, they don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They do not care at this point. They didn't care what they slopped out in the 7th season. So I guess I kind of lost my ability to be upset with this show. But it is garbage, like you say. I will go on and give it an F also because it's absolutely pathetic.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the students that I have where they wait until the very night before to write the essay. And they think that if they baffle me with BS and they just, regurgitate some stuff that they heard in a lecture or something they read on the internet, and then they use a thesaurus to shift the words around, but it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever because they wrote it at 3:00 in the morning after having 9 tequilas. That's what this show is. It's an F.
That's the kind of student I would be if I were capable of being a student. So I'm right there with you.
I'm just reading everything Jill's saying, and I love you, Jill.
Everyone, please now let fly with your any ratings you may have. And remember, always, if you loved it, thought it was the greatest thing ever made, don't be shy. All opinions are welcome here. Never worry about us. Go for that. And while you're doing that, number 1 will be on Star, Judy, and I will bring us some Max Redstone entertainment. Are we ready?
Dun, 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 dun. Maximum Redstone.
It is It's Maxerin time. All righty. Okie dokie.
Not getting away on me this time. You get back here. I got you.
All right. Emergence by the great Maximum Redstone. All the ship systems are seemingly flipped. From a holodeck stream engine, the controls are now gripped. They go far from the norms in search of precious vertiforms. They should have good looking for a much. Oh, I think he meant, I'm sorry, he just typo. They should have gone looking for a much better script. He just put good by accident. So I'll start because in that Max made a typo. So I will go ahead and do it over again. It's worthy because it's a really good one. Here we go, folks. Emergence by Maximum Redstone. All of the ship's systems are seemingly flipped. From a holodeck stream engine, the controls are now gripped. They go far from the norms in search of precious verita forms. They should have gone looking for a much better script. There you go. Thank you, Max. Great stuff, buddy.
Can I interject for one moment, please? I beg your pardon, Captain.
Keely
Please
Chow's here, by
excuse
the
me.
way.
But our great friend, Darius Munchausen, just walked through the
Darius.
door. Everyone, say hello to Darius. And Captain, Darius is here.
Darius Munchausen. What is up, Kimasabi? Hey, hey, hey. All righty. Okay, so let's all right, hang on a second here and let us start out with all reviews that you were writing for us here. Pleasant Valley says, my review, grrr, arg, me daddy, dear arg, me daddy. I think this show really stinks like a pirate. Never mind. Play Klingon opera here. D-. Please let it end. Proves pop culture sucked even back then at times. Oh, yeah, it did. Even though much more now. Certainly, writers paid for this. Well, yeah, they had to. There was a union.
Mm-hmm. But I love that you bring that up, BC, because, you know, Clobby and I, prior to being on a show together, a lot of people weren't being really open and honest about that, except for he and I. And we were very vocal on our Twitter where we were like, it's almost like how our friendship began, because we were like, no. We've always been critical of Star Trek. We have always said when it's good, when it's bad, and when it's ugly. And so when people were on the socials making it seem like something strange, new, and wonderful was happening, Clobby and I were like, no, we've always talked this way about Star Trek. Bye.
Bye. Eric K., the great Baron's Renshaw says F. Back to the I wish I could purge this totally from my mind. I thought I had tell this review. Thanks, love. Oh, till this review. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Clobby. He said, I'm sorry, Eric. It was not nice of me. Jill put love you too. What's that?
Oh, just because we said that we loved her, and yeah,
no, I love you, Jill. Well, we do love you.
She's a sweetheart. It just such a great
Jill
person.
Rocks. She does rock and roll for sure. The Comic Relief Crusader. F. I think it's a separating thing. Maybe an F-, but who cares? An F's and F's. I have no words. Well, I have words. Just none of them nice words. But this is the crappiest crap to ever crap. There you go. That's my only quibble is I think there are more episodes that are way more horrendous, but that doesn't mean and this is any good. It's good. It's just maybe there are episodes that are more outrageous to me.
I think what really bothers me, and I didn't really think about it that way before, is you know, like you were saying, it's pretentious. Like it pretends to be science fiction, and it's not. And I think that's why it gets under my skin, is because it assumes I'm a nincompoop, and I won't be able to figure out that this is nincompoopery.
There you go. I guess so, and it assumes everyone watching is, and you aren't. I am one, and I still didn't like it. So there you go.
are not a nincompoop.
I can prove it. I have the receipts. Anyway, the outsider says, D. This episode should have been called Incompetence, with a card at the start. We don't care. Well, we don't care. We're working on a movie. Well, I have a proper final episode in 2 weeks. In this episode, no actual continued, sorry. No actual intelligence, sentience, or real life forms were involved in the making of this episode. When will this end? To quote Dr. Zachary says, oh, the pain, oh, the pain. Oh.
What a great review.
Yes, indeedishness. Let's see here. The lovely Wendy Webb says, F. I spent the entire episode rubbing my temples. Now I have carpal tunnel syndrome. Why did I rewatch these episodes? Should I rant or mix another drink? I'm mixing another drink. There you go, Wendy. That's the stuff.
I love you, Wendy. You're so funny.
That's the way you do it, Wendy. Wagner says F. Very obviously a Braga episode. The new life form looks like a cheap kid's toy.
Yep.
This is the first time I actually watched this episode all the way through. It is usually a must-skip episode. Sorry, Gwag. I hope we didn't put you through
Wagner.
And Cardinal sends her for $1.99. Thank you, Cardinal. You're too kind, buddy. He says Britt Spiner is also a great singer. That is true, yes. He has an album, even. Michael Beacom says D-, more copy and paste from previous eps by checked out writers. How many times do you let the holodeck try to kill you before you scrap it? Does every starship have these issues? Good point.
Yep.
Good question. Spouting double talk does not make your story science fiction, just muddled. Total Trek fatigue on display. Even Trek 365 couldn't be bothered with more than half a page of the text. Yes.
Preach, brother, preach.
The great Steve Mitchum says, A+++. This one touches the very soul. It makes you ponder your perceptions of beauty and of truth. The greatest tragedy of all is that one day the sun will die and this episode will be gone. See, all opinions are welcome here. You totally love the episode, as you can see.
What? I don't believe him.
Yeah, I believe him. I'll take his word for it. The Catman says, Clobby, I couldn't stand watching this episode all the way through, but what little bit I saw, I didn't like any better. Any bit of it, I would didn't like any. I mean, I'm sorry. Any bit of it probably means. Yeah. I would say it is an F. A lot of F pluses. A lot of F pluses.
Dee. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dee. Tiny Metal Tree says, this is a painful episode. Solid F. Indeedishness.
I love that name. Tiny Metal Trees.
Indeedishness, yes. Darius Munchausen says, a real grumpy episode.
What is that from? If you make a grumpy, it means that you have to use the washroom.
I don't know.
That's from something. Could you put it in there for me, Darius?
Yes, indeed. They're not an Amanda says D-. Just put it in the pile. It's bad, but not nearly the worst. I hear you, Narat. And now, number one, and we can switch over. We've got Jill, and we have, of course, our good buddy Edie.
And Boosh McFadden just walks through the door.
Hey, Boosh.
Hello.
Welcome. Always good to see you. Thank you.
I gotta take a grumpy. Yeah, like everyone's saying it, Boosh. Okay. Everyone's saying this now. Gotcha. I find it quite vulgar, but also extremely funny. I will never say it myself, but hearing other people say it, it's really funny.
Right.
All right, let's get on to the starred column. I'm all over on the starred tab, boss, and I'm going to put up Jill first. Jill's only got one comment. Oh no. D-. The ship is Borgifying itself into an intelligence with the purpose of creating life out of nowhere. Then it gives itself back to the crew. What? Braga, please stop writing. Please stop writing for the Orville. I want to relinquish his writer's card. Just be like, no, dude, sorry. I love you, Jill. That was a great review. Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear, has a 3-parter. He's going to go ahead and give this episode a D+. He says the holodeck and lifeform development story threads were remarkably incohesive. The end result was a discombobulated combination of half-baked ideas smashed together into an incoherent mess. Well, you can drop the mic right now and you can stand up and take a bow because this first comment is gold. Yep. And we'll go to the second comment. He says, in the end, there was no payoff, and the audience was left to wonder what the point of the story was. Yeah, and if the Enterprise is ever going to be sentient again, and what happens? It's just so much dumb. There's so much dumb packed into one episode.
So much dumb.
3 of 3. Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear, says apparently the ship's sensors Don't at me, bro. Were never designed to detect theta flux distortions, even though they could rupture the warp core, quickly destroying the ship. That's one hell of an oversight. Yeah, isn't it bad if you think? Like if you're a thinking person. Well, anyway.
Yep.
Love you, Enigmatic Drop Bear. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
And
I'm going to go over to the live tab now. I'm
okay,
on the live tab now, boss.
All right, everyone, let's say hang 1 second here. Let me clear out.
Just waiting for the
Sorry about that. I had to we got 2 of 3 of the ones from Cal. I was giving them a chance to get those up there. Kalel.
No problem.
Kalel says, F. What kind of cybersecurity does the Enterprise D have exactly? Can any alien race just hack the Enterprise computer and use it as they please? Yes, actually, yeah. You'd think they would have learned their lesson after the Binar stole the ship way back in the first season. It's just lucky that the aliens just wanted the Enterprise for free transportation. Otherwise, the crew of the supposed, and that's all we have so far from to be continued from Cal. We'll give it a second though. Something might have happened because
I got a 3 of 3 from Cal.
Where? I don't see it.
I got it.
Okay, I don't see it. Weird.
Go to your start tab.
Okay. No, but I didn't see it pop up on the other side. That's
weird.
It's
okay. It's doing weird stuff tonight. It's got nothing to do with you, boss.
Federation flagship would have been in real trouble. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Cal. Messed up stuff. But we got rid of that. We
Nerds!
we dealt with that one. You know, but I think we owe, you know, everyone's really been putting up with a lot of trauma tonight with bad episodes. Certainly not good ones for sure, and really bad ones in this case. So let's give them some more fun.
Crap.
There's the chief engineer who says, "Family Night the movies in the backyard. Flop gun. I've never heard of it, but don't tell Clobby. I won't tell him. Don't worry." Then the host or icebreaker broke, so had to mop it all. Oh man, dude. Well, at least you didn't have to review the episodes we've had to review. I mean, you know.
I hope that's not code for something else you're doing, Mark.
Nah.
You just keep your hose to yourself.
He's not a code kind of guy, you hoser. So anyway, I'm glad you popped in though, dude. I was wondering, just as long as you're okay, that's all that matters, bro.
Yes.
And be good, and we'll be
up your nose with a rubber hose.
Up your nose with a rubber hose, but be good. I hope you get things sorted out, and then we'll be here later if you feel like dropping by. But we understand if you can't make it. But anyway, we've got one more episode to knock out here. Are you ready for the next one?
We are, boss. We are.
All right. Let's see. Next episode is Preemptive Strike.
Dun, 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 dun. Preemptive Strike is season 7, episode 24. And we all watched this for the very first time on May 16th, 1994. Let's stay copyright compliant, shall we? I'm going to be reading excerpts from a book called Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block. Please turn your hymnal to page 351, where I will be reading extemporaneously. After graduating from Starfleet's Advanced Tactical Training Program, Ro Laren is sent to infiltrate the Maquis, a group of self-professed freedom fighters. Inflamed by treaty-sanctioned changes enacted at former Federation colonies, the Maquis are attacking Cardassian vessels near the demilitarized zone established by the Federation. Wow, that's quite the sentence.
Hey, Dave G. Sound.
Hey, Dave! Ro's mission is to gain the trust of the members of the Maquis cell and lure them into a Starfleet snare. But can Ro, whose people were oppressed for decades by the Cardassians, resist becoming a part of the Maquis' cause? The closer they got to the end, the higher the stress levels got in the writer's room. At this point, we were really up against it, says Renee Echevarria. We were all covering for Ron Moore and Brandon Braga. The movie was a bigger job for them than any of us realized. They were pulled in all these directions. It was all for the show and the franchise. So Naren Shankar and Jerry Taylor and I stepped up and did what we could. We did so much writing, I don't even remember some of the last few episodes. He does remember the Maquis plotline of his script for Preemptive Strike. It was going to help platform Voyager, give it some background, he says. We were trying to tee up the other shows, adds Shankar, who wrote the episode story. That was the mandate. I really like Michelle Forbes as an actress. With Ro, we wanted to create a character to spin off into Deep Space Nine and give her some history with what they were going to be doing. A lot of the Maquis elements in Preemptive Strike were like that too. They were going to be laid into Voyager's world. But Michelle Forbes hadn't wanted to commit to any series, be it DS9, Voyager, or a generic cop drama. She was having too much fun playing the field, so to speak. I think I made the right decision, she commented at Creation Entertainment's 2008 Las Vegas Star Trek convention. As I said at the time, I was too young to get married. In fact, Jerry Taylor had to personally get the actress on the phone and pitch to her on Preemptive Strike in order to get Forbes to commit to TNG's penultimate episode. But the effort was justified, as was the decision to focus the episode on Ro rather than the TNG regulars. Without Forbes's sympathetic presence and the devastating emotional impact of her portrayal of Picard, the man who'd reinstated Ro's Starfleet career, this final link in the quartet of the Maquis-themed episodes wouldn't have been nearly as strong. Oh, there is another tile. Shall I read it, boss?
Sure.
Okay, from page 352 of the block text. He was the man who inherited the captain's chair. Following Gene Roddenberry's death, Rick Berman was responsible for keeping the Star Trek franchise afloat. His mandate from the studio was to expand that franchise by creating new Star Trek movies and television shows. It's a big universe, and Berman could have taken the franchise in any of countless directions. Paramount execs, who never really understood what made Star Trek so popular, wouldn't have stood in his way. But Berman felt a responsibility to the man who'd made it possible for him to take up the mantle, and that often clashed with the creative instincts of his staff. Yes. Particularly when he was developing Voyager with Michael Piller and Jerry Taylor, the drama people, the CW drama people. Anyway, in TNG's final year, both Journey's End and Preemptive Strike suggested aspects of discord within the Federation, policies that didn't sit well with every 24th century citizen and rankled some within Starfleet's ranks. Those seeds of discord were to provide a major subplot for Star Trek Voyager, where a group of Maquis dissidents, many of them ex-Starfleet officers, would be forced to work alongside a group of dedicated Starfleet men and women on the show's titled Starship. Over time, on that long, long voyage back to the Alpha Quadrant, they would grow to trust each other and to see the value of each other's beliefs. But once the series debuted, that process of mutual discovery was truncated. The Maquis characters quickly fell into line with Federation policy and the Starfleet captain's point of view. Before long, the Maquis and Starfleet crew members were practically indistinguishable. What happened? Gene had very, very strong ideals about what he wanted Star Trek to be, Rick Berman stated in 2006. And he wasn't going to let anybody mess with that. And I never messed with it. Or let me rephrase that. I rarely messed with it. And so you should. So you should have that attitude. Rick was very dedicated to the idea of preserving what he saw as Gene Roddenberry's vision. Yeah, explains Ron Moore. I thought that sometimes he was mistaken, and sometimes I thought that Roddenberry's vision was wrong. Well, too bad. But Rick took it seriously, and he fought vociferously for things that he felt were important to Gene. And he really thought that Gene wouldn't have liked the whole Maquis storyline. I know that Michael and Rick had a lot of arguments about that. the whole thing with the rebellion against what the Federation was doing with the Bajorans and the colonists and the Cardassians. Michael really liked it. He was always arguing for something more complex, more nuanced, more character-based, more sociologically interesting. The initial idea for a Voyager was that the Maquis who joined the crew would not put on the Starfleet uniforms. Michael lost that fight, and they put on the uniforms at the beginning of Voyager, which, depending upon your view, was or wasn't a huge mistake. And that is all the block text has to say about preemptive strike. Bossman, what did you think of the coverage, and what did you think of the episode?
Yeah, some of that coverage is some of the stuff about Berman actually saying that he tried not to contradict Roddenberry. And like he admitted he didn't do it. He admitted not often rather than never. So I guess that's something. Right. You know, and I guess that's fine. That's always been kind of stuck in my craw a little bit. I mean, not that I'm saying that I don't like some of the stuff he's done. I like a lot of the things Berman's done as well. But yeah, I mean, I think he's better off not doing that. This episode is really, it gave them, I guess they used almost like they were using this episode to set up stuff down the road, just as this coverage implies about from DS9 and Voyager. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I like the episode only a little in the sense that I just like Ensign Rose so much. It's kind of good to see her come back, but I really I don't like the way it ended. Her going over to the Maquis. Maybe it does fit the character well, so I'm probably wrong, but since the actress was never going to be doing the character anyway, okay. So I'm all over the place on this one. I thought it was an okay one, getting to see her again in an episode. I didn't think there was anything particularly wrong with it, but I don't like all the stuff with the Maquis either. I've never been, you know how they talk, as he said, that Roddenberry would be uncomfortable with the whole Maquis thing. Yeah. I'm uncomfortable with it being in Star Trek, to be honest with you, because it causes me to try to take a side. And I kind of agree with the Maquis more than I do the Federation.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't like that.
Yep, me too.
I don't really care for that much. So Maquis, it's very interesting for a lot of other types of shows. I get it. But it creates a division in Star Trek that I don't think was necessary. Does that mean I think episodes with them are bad? No, there are many good episodes with them. Multiple things can be true at the same time. There's nuance here. They can still be in a great story and all that kind of stuff. Not saying that. I'm just saying that I'm not sure I would have gone that way. I'm not sure I would have wanted the Maquis whole thing to exist, because it makes me think less of the Federation. And the Federation's not perfect. I get that, but I don't know. I think that was kind of a way of rebuking Roddenberry's vision in some ways. And that's the way it always came off to me.
I agree. I totally agree.
But the episode, we'll go with your notes and we'll talk about the episode, I guess.
Well, first of all, I want to say something. And that is that now, if you're a Star Trek fan and it's May 16th, 1994, and you're watching Star Trek and you're an adult, let's say you're not a young person, but you're an actual adult, this is where you realize that you have to make a decision. So preemptive strike, it has almost like a literal and figurative meaning. It's a literal title, but it has a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes as well, because this is the final declaration, the official shift of Star Trek as a drama on a go-forward basis. So it will never again be science fiction. It's not science fiction after this episode. On a go-forward basis, it won't even try to be science fiction. So instead of, this idea of science fiction is, how will technology shape society? How will it affect man? How will futurism, let's dream of futurism. What will the future look like? What will society look like? What's happening with futurism? What if we meet aliens? What will happen if we encounter extraterrestrial life forms? What's going to happen to the planet? What's going to happen to Earth? Okay, so that's what science fiction is. Science fiction is a vehicle for human beings to grapple with difficult things that have to do with technology, futurism, and the possibility of alien life forms. That's what science fiction does. And it uses futurism. It's very important to say this because futurism is future possible science, future possible math. So on a go forward basis, we're no longer, the central idea is not science fiction. So the central idea, the central theme of every episode will not be futurism. It will not be technology, and it will not be extraterrestrial life forms and their impact on humankind. That will never, ever be the central focus of episodes on a go forward basis. So this is a staggering episode for someone who was around and an adult like I was on May 16th, 1994. With DS9, with Voyager, with the films that come after, it becomes more about politics and sociology. In my notes, I have Roja's excellent man spread in her interrogation room. In psychology and in social science, we call this power posing. It can help you to feel more powerful whenever you have to do a very big speech in front of a room full of people. I train my students to power pose, to make themselves as big as possible, as though they're going to face a bear. And it actually changes your psychology. It changes the way you feel. It releases endorphins in the human body. So I thought that might be a nice bit of science fiction I could add to this show. So that power posing, if you have to do a lot of public speaking and hate it, and apparently most people on the planet hate public speaking, they would rather die. In a poll, they actually said they would rather die than speak publicly. So power posing. This is a well-written political drama. It is well acted, a thin, almost non-existent veil of science fiction. So it's situated in the idea of science fiction, but it is just a political drama. The Hasperat bite marks required better editing. We have 3 bites, then we turn to 2 bites, then 1. It's almost as if he's regurgitating the Hasperat instead of eating it. This is a compelling scenario. We want the Maquis to succeed. This is a lovely, quote unquote, old man. And so you have this father figure, this young woman who's had a tremendously difficult, traumatizing childhood, craving the ability to be with her father. And this actor who they have playing this lovely old man, he has beautiful warm eyes and such a sweet face. We feel compassion and sympathy for these oppressed people who need medical supplies. And then I have underneath that, why are the medical supplies in the cargo bay? Why aren't they cataloged in medical storage? That would have been, I wrote that could have been edited or written better. And then my final note is, I'm sorry, but after preemptive strike and a go forward basis, this is not science fiction. This is good quality drama. This is sociology. This is political discourse, but it's not science fiction. And those are my notes.
Well, excellent as always. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, it's in a science fiction setting, and we'll talk about it more next week when we talk about that last one. If that's, but yeah, start from Deep Space Nine on up, I guess. Yeah, you're right. It's more politics. It's about war. Mm-hmm. It's drama. It's a decent one, though. I mean, again, the episode, I like it well enough, but mainly because I like her, and I did like that old man. So he was good in it. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a whole lot to say about it. There's another one episode like this is just like they're trying to get it over with.
Yep.
And they just throw this in there, and at least we get to see her one last time. So that's something. What is your rating?
Okay, well,
preemptive strike.
Okay, well, first I want to qualify this by saying that I have a degree in writing from university, and I specialize in editing. So what I'm going to say is very specific right now. I'm just going to say that if an author came to me and showed me either the short story or the teleplay, because of course we have the writer of the story and then we have the teleplay. And the teleplay is how you set it up as a screenplay. You set it up for celluloid. If someone brought me this short story and asked me to publish it under a genre, there is absolutely no way this would ever be published as science fiction. It's not science fiction. So I have to say that because it's not science fiction, I have to give it an F, because it fails to be what it's claiming to be. However, I have here in my notes on a sidebar, it says, this is not science fiction, but this is good quality drama, and we have some politics happening there. So as far as a political drama goes, this is a B for me. I love Michelle Forbes. I think this is a relatively well-wrought episode. I think it's great, but you need to be cognizant of the fact that if this were not celluloid, if this were in print, there is no way it would ever be filed as science fiction, let alone Star Trek. It's just not. Sorry, folks. It's not. There's no science fiction in this episode. So B as a quality drama, F as Star Trek and science fiction. It's not.
Well pointed out. As well, there you. I don't blame you. I only have one rating, and I gave it basically. I was close to a B minus, but I just figured I'll give it a B on the strength of getting to see Ro again and the drama and stuff, and it's decent enough in those respects, and it was pretty brutal what she had to do to Picard, and her to have to do that to him, and it really hurt him, trusting her and stuff like that. So
very good sexual chemistry between them too. Did you notice that betwixt them there was this almost there was such an electricity you could almost like reach out and touch it. Michelle Forbes is quite a lady. She has quite a stage presence. I think she's just marvelous.
I love her. Love her, and I would love to have seen that character continue and go on. And it's a shame this, like so many other characters they've dangled in front of us that were pretty good. We only get them a short amount of time, and yet we get other ones more than we want. And then she falls under that category for me. So I give it also a B then. Now I will ask our wonderful friends in the chat to give their rating and any words they may have about the episode Preemptive Strike. And while they are doing that, you of course can take the con while I bring us some Max Redstone entertainment. How about that?
Maximum Redstone. Stone.
All right, Preemptive Strike by Max Redstone. Ro Laren is back into the plot on a spy mission where danger is fraught. She ends up stealing supplies from the Enterprise. A Bajoran fighting Cardassians. Who would have thought?
Lovely. So lovely. Maximum Redstone.
Well done, Max, as always. So let's see what we got here. By the way, for Emergence, we do have a review from our chief engineer. We'll go with that first for our previous episode. He wrote D minus Emergence. So they let the Enterprise become a sentient, and let its love child fly off into space. No follow up to the one night stand. I want my V'ger back. There you go. Indeed, it's just. Maddie's daddy, Steve Mitchell, says, folks, I don't know if it's my daughter's early schedule, my old age, or these boring episodes they're making me so sleepy. Thank you all for another fun stream. Enjoy the rest. Good night, all. Good night, buddy.
I know that wasn't a review, but I had to say good night to him.
That's all right, man. Good night, bud.
Yeah, everyone, please say good night to Steve Mitchum.
Feel better, buddy.
In Vegas.
Indeedishness. Pleasant Valley Picker says B+. A good episode leading to DS9. Wish she had done that series. She was the best character in those TNG episodes. I agree with you there. Mm-hmm. A somewhat complex episode. Who is a terrorist and who is a freedom fighter?
True.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for that, Pleasant Valley. Wagner says B. It was a good episode. Not much else to say. Thank you, Wagner. You've said enough. Really? That is always good. We appreciate that. Michael Beacom says he gives it D-. Cold War in space. Seriously, if you took a Tom Clancy script and did text swap with the word Cardassians for Russians, Maquis for Serbian, etc., this is what it would be. It would look like. Well,
totally agree.
Can't argue with that. You're not wrong there, buddy. The great Max Redstone says B-. because I love Roe and Michelle Forbes, to the tune of "Row, row, row your boat, row, Laren," sent to spy on the Maquis that she'd rather fight Cardassians was not considered by Starfleet.
He raises a good point. I
Good
think that
point.
when Poopy Stew, when Peahard quasi threatens her when they're having this, very electric sexual touching session in this bar, I thought it was a bad move as a captain. And of course, you have all heard me say that I believe he's a very weak captain. He's not a good leader like Kirk is. And I totally agree, Max. Maximum Redstone. Yeah, I totally agree. It wasn't good, right? Like that's not what you expect the captain to say. He should have encouraged her to do the right thing, not threatened to court-martial her. That was weird.
So no personnel reliability program that had red flag Roe as a bad for this mission. That is a very good point. I love Roe, however. The only thing worse than sending in Riker is sending a Bajoran to set up Cardassian enemies. By the way, she went on that mission because Picard fully endorsed it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he was so messed up. I mean, I'm sure the Admiralty were trusting Picard and he was trusting her, and that's part of the drama of the episode. But I hear you. You're not wrong. The relationship the Maquis build with Roe is genuine, and the only thing that really sells me on this episode, and this episode is pretty much selling everything else but this episode. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well said, as always, to the great Max Ridstead. Let's see here. Eric K. says, C+. It was entertaining despite the annoying Roe. You don't like Roe? Pulled the heartstrings when the old man died, yes.
Yeah.
Don't like Roe, huh? I've never heard that before. But there you go. That's fun. Now, Nanax Amanda Bear says, I always kind of liked Ensign Roe, so I give it D. Wow.
Yeah.
You like her, so a D. Now,
yeah, so Nirot,
if he didn't like her, would he get an F?
Well, a lot of people take exception with this whole thing of making
I hear you.
of
No, I hear you.
saying
I'm
politics and soap opera and drama and action adventure and mystery, that it's all science fiction. A lot of people get really peeved off by that. I'm one of those people. Like if something's action adventure, just say it is. Don't try and call it science fiction. If all genres become one genre, society is really going to regret it.
Yeah. There is adventure in Star Trek, but it still needs to be Star Trek.
It does.
C, but I disagree, says Phantom Outsider. This was sci-fi. In it, they warned of the menace of the Cardassians. The menace was real. We are over 30 years away, and the Cardassian menace continues unabated. Watch the skies.
Love you, Phantom.
Phantom, you old rascal, you.
It's a great comment.
The Comic Relief Crusader says grade MRH. Murrah? Okay.
Yeah.
It was liked by me. I guess that's sort of a man type thing.
Yes.
Liked by me, but an average episode to me. I got you covered.
Mm-hmm.
Dave G. Sound says, I cannot and will not subscribe to your interpretation of these events. Sounds like Dr. Marcus to me. Just kidding. I do agree regarding the political implications being added in that may be uncomfortable with the Federation. B.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave G. Sound.
Yeah, and Dave, Gene Roddenberry wanted you to be able to escape. That's what he wanted. He wanted you to have pure science fiction. In his Bibles, he specifically says that he wants hard science fiction. So it had to be based on a future possible, and he wanted you to be able to escape into that. And so when people are like,
"Oh, Gene Roddenberry and his vision, that was a dumb idea, and what's a utopia? It's not realistic."
It's not supposed to be. It was supposed to be our aspiration. And so keeping the margins of that story quite tight to make sure that you stay in that utopia and you keep people thinking about technology and futurism and these wonderful things. I think it's absolutely wonderful. So Dave G. Sound, I love your comments.
Right. I mean, you can do that quote unquote more realistic crap anywhere else. Just why do you have to do it in Star Trek? People get into Star Trek or get into making it and decide they want to do that. Well, then you're fundamentally changing it from what Star Trek is supposed to be. Go do it somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, people are they think that the only vehicle for political science now is a science fiction, and it's not. Go do that to fantasy then, and watch how the fantasy people respond, because the fantasy people won't like it either. It's very important that we have different genres in our world of arts and entertainment, in our world of pretend, in our paintings, in our music, in our TV shows, in our films. We need this. We're human beings. We cannot just be political entities. That where there is more to life than that. Surely we can eke out an existence that is capable of escaping the claws and chains of a hyper political life.
C plus for Wendy Webb. Thank you, Wendy. She says, having been an Army combat nurse in Afghanistan, rewatching this episode for tonight, a couple of scenes caused me to swallow hard. It's too hard to talk about, but this isn't sci-fi.
Oh, I love you, Wendy. I love you, Wendy.
Indeed.
Just reaching out and giving you a hug. I love you.
Like you said, it's good drama, but it's not sci-fi. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's touching on some pretty, like Dave G. Sound was saying, these are some pretty weighty issues, and if you're going to step in it and get involved with it, better make sure you're sincere about it. And not everybody was feeling the sincerity there. They were feeling the powerfulness of the implications of what's being said. So I doff my cap to Wendy and to Dave G. Sound. Love you guys.
Kal-El says, B plus. Although this episode told a good story with some really well-developed characters, RAQUEL, other members of the Maquis, it creates a divisiveness within the audience by having them choose sides. Mm-hmm. Good point. It is, to its credit, though, it doesn't berate the audience directly for choosing one side or the other, unlike certain shows masquerading as Star Trek today, seeing the internal, boy, is that true, conflict within RAQUEL before deciding to go with the Maquis was definitely a highlight of the episode. Although more drama than science fiction, this was still a very enjoyable episode.
Yeah,
I hear you. Absolutely.
Great comments. Great comments.
Let's see here. Catman says, Bobby, I give it a C, though it was give it a C. I thought it was an okay episode. I was really disappointed in the last few episodes. And yeah, well, you're not alone there, buddy. And now number one, if you will take the con for the stars, and I will switch places with you.
Before we do that, I just want to say, Michael Beacom, yeah, that's exactly why I brought it up. He says, Raquel, bite your tongue. Fantasy is about to be ravaged via Amazon Lord of the Rings show in exactly this way. Yeah, and that's why I brought it up, is obviously it was a rhetorical remark. Right. And Absolutely. It's just it seems ever reaching, doesn't it, Michael Beacom? It's just it's getting quite tiresome. I think people just want a break, and they want to see some arts and entertainment that talks about what it's like to be a human being, and everything around us, instead of politics. Okay, let's start with Anti-Derivative Jill. Boss man, I'm on the starred tab now.
Get out.
Anti-Derivative Jill has 2 comments on this particular episode, and she's going to go ahead and give the episode a B. She says, the idea of the Maquis is that the Federation gains peace with Cardassians at the expense of their border citizens. It is so difficult to accept, but the basis for some stories going forward. I love Jill so much. 2, Ro is a fantastic character who plays secret agent turned Maquis very well. I agree. Her charm carries the weight of her decision to disappoint the captain she respects for the people she needs to help. Yeah, and Dave G. Sound was getting into this. It is an odd choice, isn't it, Jill? Because for the first time, you're cheering against the protagonists. You're cheering against the Federation, and that is, it's kind of yucky. Enigma, that was a beautiful review. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I absolutely love your reviews. Thank you so much for the great conversations you bring here. Let's move on to Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear. He's got a 3-parter here. He's going to go ahead and give this episode a B. He says, this is an example of story wrought to achieve a stated objective. Have Roe defect from the Federation to the Maquis. I accept that argumentation. Ooh, let's go do this one first. 2 of 3. There is no problem with this. However, the story, particularly the parts involving Roe's infiltration of the Maquis, was poorly developed. It was only Forbes's acting chops that carried it. Yeah. And 3 of 3. Edie says, Picard's handling of Roe during her moment of doubt was clumsy and out of character. Yeah, Edie, I thought the same thing. Why threaten her when she was at her weakest, when she was struggling with her conscience? I totally agree, Enigmatic Drop Bear. Better to have placed Riker in that role. Yes. His more regimented approach would have been more believable. Yep. I love this review. Thank you so much, my friend. And I'm going to go over to the live tab now, boss man.
Okie dokie. Excellent, ED, as always.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. I love these conversations. These are the best conversations.
Our chief engineer says, hang on a second. Excuse me. B. Enjoyable episode only due to the chemistry between Roe and the old man Marcia. Marcia? Okay. Agree. This is a purely political tale with no science fiction elements other than being set in the Star Trek universe.
Yep.
Anyone have a recipe for Hasperat? At least we're almost done with season 7. It really hasn't aged well. It really had. The whole series. No, it has not aged well, buddy. You are so right.
Well, I think it's also important for you to realize too, though, Mark, is that this is kind of my fault, because I think a lot of people who have been longtime Trekkies, like they like, for me as a TOSer, I try to avoid the corporate season, the season when we were like on our 4th corporation that was ruining TOS. So I actively try to avoid many of the episodes by doing laundry or cooking supper or stuff when I'm doing my rewatch. And there are many Star Trek fans who just don't watch in chronological order at all. They go and they cherry pick their favorite episodes from TOS. So I'm going to transfer that over to TNG. I think a lot of people feel the same way about TNG. I don't think it is brought under the same lens it was while we were watching it, because we were watching it in order. We were watching it as it was written. And so I think that, my best advice is, if you're not somebody who's a linear thinker and you require a linear movement, just watch what you want from TNG, episodes that you really love. But it is very important for people out there on the socials to realize that people like Clobby and I have always existed. We probably, if he would have grown up in Canada, we probably would have hung out. Everyone like that I knew, like Trekkies, we were talking about these episodes like this when they were happening. So I guess, it's better to just watch the episodes you really, truly love.
Yeah, that's what I do. Well, that's what I do. Shooter, didn't we discuss what last week? What are you referring to, my friend?
Oh, and since you said his name, can I do it? Pew, 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 pew.
We have our first officers here.
Hey,
I'm
thanks for
our
having me.
engineer. Sorry.
Nope,
What's up,
it's
buddy?
okay, chief engineer. Yep, I had to do some engineering tonight, so.
Well, nothing too bad, I hope.
No, but just, you always check your hoses, right? Going to your fridge, those damn, the old days you had copper, and, then they went cheap on us, and, the plastic hoses don't hold up. So we're watching the movie outside on the, I won't mention the name because it's not one of your favorite actors, but then I came inside after the movie and there's water filling up in the kitchen, so, but it's okay. It wasn't too bad.
Oh, good. Glad you got it straightened out, buddy.
Yep. All good. Yep.
Yeah.
So I had to show my son how to do some quick home repairs. So yeah, that's
Fun stuff.
always good to
The whole
teach the next
watching in random
generation. Yeah.
Episode
Yeah.
of Norm. Oh, I guess we did. Shooter, I'm old. I forget things, dude.
We always
I've
talk about it, but it's always a pertinent conversation because how many people, like as we move through this in chronological order, how many people are able to do that and say, you know, this really sucks, but this is beautiful. There aren't many people who have the discipline to move through an entire IP in that fashion. I mean, let's face it,
absolutely.
even if they were even if you dedicated 1 hour, and of course it's in excess of 1 hour, but even if you dedicated 1 hour to the 735, that's a lot of time to dedicate to it. So when you're hearing us complain about some of these quite frankly, stinker episodes, it's best to fall back on the old Trekkie habit of just avoiding that episode.
I couldn't sit through even and the children shall lead once a year. No way.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad enough
Exactly.
when we reviewed
just
it.
skip it, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. There are a lot of and now having watched all of TNG in this like this, you know, all the way through in order. There's some I'll never want to see again. I'll never have to watch again. Never watch again. But you know, I would never. And I used to randomly pick one, just even with TNG sometimes, just as early as a few years back when they were on, you know, what's its face, Netflix. Mark, were you watching Stand By Me with Will Wheaton?
No, it was Top Gun because
I like Stand By Me.
Stand By Me is a great movie, yeah. But the family wants to go see the Top Gun 2, so the
So
kids
you
all
had to
wanted to
watch the Top Gun 1.
Yeah, so we
Sure,
have
I
a
know, like
backyard
Tom
projector
Cruise.
set up. Yep.
I saw Will Wheaton in again. I forgot he was even in the modern Outer Limits, and I saw him and I was like, ew.
Yeah,
She said, no worries. The reason I'm enjoying is because I joined you guys at the end of season 6, and I'm that guy who will watch a series from start to finish. Well, again, Shooter. Yeah, there you go, Shooter. So you have company. You're not the only one. I got you though.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. On the other hand, I think Michael Beacon says, he says, I'm a cherry picker in private viewing. I only have so many hours a day, so I want to fill them. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, this after that, what happened with the Orville this week, and you know what we talked about Thursday night. I was just amongst watching other things. I went and watched I threw on a couple of Trek episodes, and I watched Trek 3. No, I watched Trek 4, then later I watched Trek 3. In that order, I watched 4 before I did 3. I was just whipping all over the place. I watched an episode here and there. I don't know. And I can do that. Wendy Webb, thank you so much. Wendy, for the $10 super chat. You were too kind. Oh, thank you so much. Very generous of you. She says, I'm guilty of cherry picking TNG episodes.
Good.
A lot of these episodes I thought were good at the time, didn't age well. I really love and look forward to Saturday nights. Thanks. Oh, thank you so much. You were too kind.
We look
really
forward
do
to these
appreciate
nights
that.
too.
That's so nice, Wendy. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And look, there's still episodes we really like a lot because next week, when we do our big, season roundup, we'll of course review all good things, and then we will do not only. Yeah, look, I know it sounds like we beat up on these a lot. We will definitely do our worst episodes of each season and our worst seasons and stuff like that. But we'll do best as well. So we'll definitely like some episodes as well. So, but I'll fully admit that I'm partial to the original series. Nothing comes close to me.
Nothing even comes close to it. I find it centrifugal. It gets less and less Star Trek as you move away from the center, as you move away from the nucleus. It just becomes less and less about Star Trek.
Enterprise was a lot more like the original series.
To
be honest, and everyone hates it. Except me and you.
I really love Enterprise. I really, really love Enterprise.
Monkey Jeebus.
Monkey Jeebus!
And look, that's not easy to say. Enterprise has been the redheaded stepchild of Star Trek for the longest time.
Well, I am a redhead, and I was a stepchild, so.
But you know the phrase. But you know what? You've heard this. You've heard that figure of speech before.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, I hear. And by the way, I did not know. Maybe I knew it and forgot it. So I'm sorry if I was being insensitive. But it has been treated that way. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And
I know what you're saying, and it's so true. But yeah, it's just
oh, look, we have some fellow fans of Enterprise here. We got Shooter
Yeah, I like the
and
Enterprise on
Rock.
the rewatch.
the more Shooter talks, the more I like Shooter.
Yeah,
He
cool.
he or she, I'm not sure.
And Tiny Metal Trees. There you go. Yeah.
But I'm also a linear watcher beginning to end. And I'm a very private person. I don't like to talk about myself, but I will admit to you all how I actually watch so much Star Trek every year, and how I'm able to do it in a linear fashion is I run like quasi run. I run about 5 miles per hour for 5 US miles every day. And I do it on my machine. And so I have these wireless headphones, and I get on there and I do my run. And so I have a show that I throw on the show before I get on my machine. I run my machine up hills and down hills, and I run for 5 miles, and I do it 4 miles to 5 miles per hour US a measurement, and that's how I'm able to do it. That's how I guess what I'm saying is that's how I make time for it. But yeah, I don't like to talk about myself. I'm a private person. But
But God,
just
if
so
there's
you
a
know,
bad episode, that's got to be, you must end up running slower or something, right? When I
yeah,
used to
well,
jack, I used to put on AC/DC Back in Black. That was my jacking tape on a Walkman, because it gets you going. So I can
Yeah.
imagine, like, that's not, especially running or exercising to like a
yeah.
Star Trek episode. that takes motivation.
Yeah, so that's how I have that little slice of my life that is just for Star Trek. And like I said, I shouldn't be talking about myself on
No,
air,
it's
but
okay.
that's a private thing that I do. That's how I do it. That's how I make it a part of who I am. And Papa Delta Yankee.
Hey there, Papa Delta Yankee.
Hello.
Good to see
Why
you.
you-
Thanks for
I
popping
never
in.
watched. I never watched episodes in order too. I mean, I was always just random. PIX in New York
Yeah.
would put them on at midnight, and even when I bought the DVDs, I would, you'd maybe watch them on the. I don't even know if the DVDs. I don't remember, were they in prod order or air order they
No,
aired?
they're not.
Yeah. So and then
Not prod order.
not prod order, right? And then you just throw them in, throw a few discs in and watch them. And of course, now with all the streaming stuff, you can just pick an episode. But I don't think there's any of these episodes some of them definitely never gonna watch again on TNG. But the binge watching is great though too. Going through, like I went back and rewatched Enterprise in order when it was on Netflix, so which was great. I appreciated it a lot more. I did like it the first time around, but you really appreciate more. I think seeing that in order than seeing it randomly in a show like that. The first time you get that first time viewing experience, and then you can go back and pick episodes to watch. And and when you're watching a show now, like if you want to pick up a show like UFO, you can watch it. Watch it in
UFO
order.
is the gold standard of
Papa Delta
science
Yankee.
fiction.
Yes, DS9 is next, coming up soon in about 3 weeks now. We got 3 more episodes to get done with what we're doing, the TNG stuff, including the movies, and then we'll be on DS9. But go ahead.
Yep, then we're gonna do DS9.
Yeah, but it's fun to be able to watch, these shows in order. I guess that we have this, ability to stream now. But if you couldn't afford a lot of these shows used to be so expensive. I mean, Trek used to be like at one point, I think it wasn't $80 an episode when it first came out, or $40.
Yes, I remember.
I mean,
buying
it
those
was
ones.
cost a fortune.
VHSs, I remember buying them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cost a fortune just so now you have the ability to go to a streaming service and boom, and if you really like a show, it's great for that first time to be able to go through it in order, obviously, but after that it's if I feel like watching some Star Trek, then you have your favorites you put in. But God, there were some clunkers in this seventh season.
Yep.
Just really but of course I think I remember watching it the first time. You really loved TNG. It hit those high points. I think in season 5, it kind of built up, and it had so much goodwill too. And then you like the characters at that point too. Data and Worf were favorites, and there was none of the social media garbage or anything. And I think you kind of, when you, like I think Wendy was saying too, when some of them didn't age as well. And you're just watching it, and you're maybe not being as critical, and you're just, oh, they're my characters that I love, and the story wasn't so good, but I got to see Data and Worf, and you kind of just let it go too. So, but then really, watching or hearing you guys review it and making all those good points, then you're like, yeah, why is Star Trek getting so political in terms of no sci-fi, not not political, not allegory, but the Maquis and the whole setup with Deep Space Nine. Hey, Wolfie.
My God.
Wolfie. Hey there. Wow, with a $20 super chat, you're too kind, my friend. Thank you so much. I missed my shipmates She's traveling this weekend, but we miss you too, buddy. Thank you for popping in, and thank you for that very generous super chat. You were too
One
kind.
of our ship and engineering experts is Wolfie 762. We love you, Wolfie.
Thank
you were
man.
missed. Travel safely, but you know what?
Yes.
Have a great time.
Be
and
safe.
We'll be here when you get back.
Be safe and have a great trip.
Yep. Be good. Be good.
Yes, and Jill, I'm glad you're enjoying that. Absolutely. And Papa, someone asked a question. Someone's asking about what we're doing is next week. It'll be all good things, and then we'll when we get done with reviewing that one, we will wrap up the whole series. We'll talk about favorite episodes, worst episodes, and of course which seasons, and then rate the series overall.
Yeah.
Then the following week, it'll be the first two of the TNG films. Then the following week after that, the second two of the TNG films, and then on to the DS9.
Yep. That's what we do. And if you're new here, we do it that way because this really is like being in an actual room face to face with a bunch of other Trekkies. It was established very early on with Clobby and I that everyone in our community, everybody like involved with this show, any 735er, they were very quickly saying, like, we like it when you guys do the good, the bad, the ugly. We love that wrap up. We love to be able to talk about like our favorites. They like to go full circle and discuss what they really love, what stood out to them in the season, and so on and so forth. So that's why we started doing that. It's just everyone in the crowd, everyone present here really enjoys that aspect. So that's why we do it, and you can look forward to that next week. We'll definitely be doing it. The good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to talk about our top 3 best, our bottom 3 worst. We're going to rate the whole season like the captain said, and just have a great discussion.
Yep. Well, and that'll be July 4th weekend.
Yep.
Well, I just realized that's right. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, I'm usually I'm
probably busy.
I'll be there late, but our town has fireworks on July 2nd to save money. They don't have them on the 4th, so
the 4th is on Monday. So
we've never had the fireworks on the 4th because it's cheaper, So that's gonna be and of course, and I hate that when you have a holiday and a non-holiday. They always move stuff around, so it can be on a Saturday night or So the celebration's on Saturday night for us. So I'll be here around I'll be about an hour-ish late, I guess. Yeah, but
that's cool, dude.
Yeah, it's all good.
As long as you're able to make it if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I always love hanging out there for that.
Show up as we can.
Yeah.
Show my spreadsheet with all my numbers.
Yep. We understand it's a holiday weekend, dude.
Yeah.
Well, wow! I tell you what, we reviewed 3 episodes. What else is going on? Anything else we need to cover? Before we call this one a night, because we can let everybody out early for a change. We've got a lot of work to do next week.
Yeah, an early evening, which is good because, of course, the boss is a part of Iconicon, and they're gearing up to do that, and that's going to be great fun. And so, I think I'm out of here. I'm good. I'm good to get out of here. Obviously we have to say our goodbyes and stuff. If anyone has any questions for me in the chat, please go ahead. But I'm good, boss.
Well, Chief Engineer, anything you'd like to say to our friends before we start with our show notes and then our goodbyes?
Sorry, I missed the part of good portion of the night. So I can just enjoy going back to
man. Dude, you missed my art. You missed my You missed that?
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So good.
I don't know who
saw
did that.
Okay.
Somebody vandalized it. But
I'm guessing the ratings weren't so good for that episode.
that was the
But,
first episode of the night. And then Max contributed, by the way.
Max,
Max
that's
contributed also, by the way.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah.
And then there was this one, your favorite.
Now, what the heck was that thing supposed to be? My
Try to find out.
Oh my God! A bunch
Well,
of plastic
at first
straws
they
with lights
explained
in
it
them.
as the physical manifestation of a positronic brain that the ship
Yeah.
was building, which would cover the entire ship. And then once they realized that that was absurd, they didn't tie any of the ends up. They just left it as is. So you think that it's building up a the physical manifestation of a positronic
on
brain
the ship. On the ship,
and then
yeah.
for absolutely no effing reason, someone throws out a line. I think it's Marina. She throws out a line about how the ship is having a baby. And so then the ship is sentient, has a baby, and then it isn't sentient anymore. And I believe it's Beverly Crusher who turns around and says, well, you know, many creatures are like that. Once they give birth, they just die. That's exactly what she says in the episode. And it like, head desk.
They know not what they did.
I mean,
thank you,
it's
Eric
interesting.
K, by the way.
Oh yeah. I'm going to start running now.
Yeah, you got 20 laps around the sausage section for you, Mark. There you go.
But you know what the trick is? I'm going to use my Playmobil Enterprise, so it's a lot smaller, a lot easier. Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Wendy, thank you so much. I know I'm new to this channel, but I appreciate your acceptance. It's my bedtime. Everyone, take care and stay safe. Good night to you, Wendy. Have a wonderful night, and we really appreciate you.
And thank you so much for the generous gift that you gave to my captain.
Very much.
Keeping the lights on in this virtual comic book shop means a lot to me because I really love Clobby. In real life, he's one of my very best friends that I've ever had. And that means a lot to me because I'm an introvert. So I love and appreciate anyone who supports my friend. And you did that tonight so beautifully, Wendy, with that beautiful note and that generous donation. So thank you so much. You are a sweetheart. Mwah!
Thank you so much. Show notes now, folks. Please do not forget Iconocon's coming up. I am part of it. That's going to be big, huge, as Nick likes to say. Huge, as Nick likes to call it. Where's my? Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Now, in the chat, I shall put a link to the schedule for Iconocon, which starts actually this coming Wednesday night on the 29th, Wednesday in the morning, actually, on the 29th. And there's a link in my description. There's a link now in the chat where you can go to this Iconocon online schedule. You can see all the amazing online panels for this virtual con that my wonderful retro blasting friends are putting together. So please check that out. And my panel, I'm so honored to be doing a panel this year, like I did last year. This is the second year for this. Will be Thursday night, June 30th. It'll be 9 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be toy comics, and I'll be joined by the great Michael French of Retro Blasting Frame. He's the master of the Retro Blasters. Joining me will be Chasing 80s Toys, Jeff Barker, and Endless Bullets podcast, Matt Swafford. And it's going to be amazing. Again, like I said, toy comics, comics based on toys. And again, if you look at that schedule, amazing assortment of panels. If you're a fan and either a child or a teen or whatever of the 70s, 80s, or 90s, and you're a geek, there's some panel. If you just look at that schedule, there's a panel there for you probably, or maybe more than one. So give those a look, if you would. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. The great chief engineer, Mark D. with a C, and maybe Tom with Midnight's Edge. He's tentative. He's going to try to make it. He wants to. We will be all counting down our list of the 25. We will have our own personal list of the 25 worst comic book movies of all time, or at least what we think they are anyway.
It's going to be awesome, yep.
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's some stinkeroos on there, folks. And Captain Cockney Spock is putting some pressure on me. He says 40 years, which this is the 40th anniversary of Blade Runner, everyone. 40 years of the Deckard question, and it's a tie. Deciding vote goes to Clobby. I don't know if I can
It's a
handle
lot
that.
of pressure.
But Cockney, what if I decide I don't have an opinion? What if I go, I don't know, I'm 50-50, could go either way. But the guys on Saturday Live, there's some things that mankind was not meant to know. I don't know. So who knows? Maybe that would be. Well, yeah, man. What if I can't make the decision, Cap? I mean, because if I do make the decision, it's going to cause all-out war.
Yeah.
If I don't, the war's
You
going to
might get some replicants angry at you.
Right,
Yeah.
but because they've now made it public that you're the deciding vote. I mean, that's not an enviable position. I'm not sure I would. No, I would opt out. I'd be like, nope, sorry, I have no opinion.
One side is going to want to assassinate me, Captain Cockney Spock.
Yeah.
Let me put this scenario to you, Captain Cockney Spock. It's 1972, and the Steelers create. And I know you don't know our sport here, but it's the Immaculate Reception. It was the catch from Franco Harris where he runs it into the end zone, and the Steelers win the game, but it was contested heavily. It's very controversial, but it's in the stadium of the home team that has made the touchdown that wins the game. And this legend has it, we don't know if it's true or not, that John Madden, the coach of the Raiders, and Al Davis were yelling at the ref and said he'd not held his arms in the air yet to call it a touchdown. And they said, you got it. He dropped the ball, hit the ground. He goes, you see all that around, and there's yelling, screaming fans, like 50, 60,000 fans who are as happy as they can be and going insane. This is Pittsburgh. And he says, you're going to get me out of here alive if I don't call this a touchdown? And they looked at him like, and he raised his hands in the air, touchdown. Just saying. Now, that's what
a legend,
Madden
right?
says. Madden says.
That's the lesson. That's the scary lesson to be learned here. And that's a very good story to tell. Right?
Yes, but I don't know. I tell you what, but I'm going to be honest. When I watch it, and I might watch it tomorrow if I'm home in time. If I watch it, only because Captain Cockney Spock has bestowed such an honor on me. I don't know. It might be more like a sacrificial lamb, but I will be honest though. But I'm just saying.
But which version are you going to watch? All 8 of them, or
yeah? Do I have to watch all 55 versions?
I think there's 8 versions of the movie.
My God.
I'm remembering right.
Cockney, you gotta tell me which one to watch, dude. I'm trying. By the way, when they bring me up,
the third version of the director's cut.
When they bring me up there in front of the firing squad, I'm bringing you with me.
You know what you should do? You should read the I'm not sure if it's a short story or a novella. It would depend upon if it were a pocketbook or not. But I think you should read
I read that back in the
Electric
80s.
Sheep.
I can't remember much about it. It's nothing to do. No, they said it doesn't matter because the movie's different from the book. Philip K. Dick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to wiggle you out of that.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, yeah.
all right.
I'm saying the book cuts no ice with Doomcock or Burnett or any of those guys. So I don't know.
And Doomcock's firmly on the replicant side,
right? And he's made a video out of it.
Yeah.
Our buddy, All Hail Doomcock. We love Doomcock. And if he knows, look, I watched the movie. Look, full disclosure, everyone. I watched Blade Runner at the theater in 82 when I was just shy of 18 years old. And never watched it again. Not because I have anything against it. It was fine. I just never really watched it again. So this will be 40 years, almost to the day of the month that I'll be watching it again. He's saying, and that was the theatrical version, by the way. He says, if I'm paying attention, Clobby has the director's cut. Yes, I think I have a director's cut.
Yeah.
Version 2 of 3. He's definitely human in the book, but transmedia canonical visitors. There is a militude indeed.
Well,
sir.
I think actually, instead of adding canonical verisimilitude there, you should have actually said transmedia narratives, which is an area of study in communications and technology, where you start off with the book, and then you have all these socials, and then you have celluloid, and then you have video games, and together the fans form these secondary stories, these secondary ideas about the text, and in so doing, alter the text forever. So you have these fan films and all of these things, and then it doesn't really matter. Of course, Roland Barthes would say the author is dead, and so then it doesn't matter what the author intended. It's what happens in these transmedia narratives on socials as we move the IP from one medium to another. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm saying nerdy stuff, and I'll stop talking now.
That's all right. We'll see what happens, folks. But if you know that if I get
hope
killed,
you survive.
If I get killed, you all know to blame Captain Cockney Spock. Go to his channel and be mean to him. Kidding. By the way, please go to his channel and subscribe because he's a good dude. And he's
Great
he's
stuff
a good bloke.
there,
Yeah.
Oh, look at Tyrell. Look at
Tyrell.
Tyrell never talks because
Yeah,
he's at work. He podcasts us in his head at work. Oh,
well,
he took him off. Put him back up.
I was trying to put him back up there. Obviously, he took his name from Blade Runner. He said, "This is Eldon Tyrell telling you that my son Deckard is a replicant and he doesn't know it." There you go. And you know what always gets me about your avatar there, Tyrell, by the way, is you got it from Eraserhead. Dude.
That's Eraserhead, isn't it?
Eraserhead gives me nightmares, that movie. Are you a fan of Eraserhead? Rob Altus, hey there. Good to see you, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, man, dude, Eraserhead gives me the willies, buddy. I gotta say, man.
Oh, Rob Altus, the verisimilitude isn't a big word. It's just it's actually a literary term. So I think that a couple of us who have studied literature and have been to university have said it, and now all of these geeks who do film, they're saying it. But it's actually a literary term, and it just means that the text feels real, like what's happening in the text is so real to life that it has almost it's just saying that the text has a realness to it. So not a big word. Don't worry about it, Rob Altus. I'm not even sure that film people should even be using the word verisimilitude. I don't know. I would have to go and look at my
copyrighted it.
R&B, yeah.
Yeah, you can't copy that, right? That's a literary term.
I'm joking.
Yeah, so it's used by in literary studies specifically. So
right.
Yeah, Rob Altus, I'm actually glad you brought that up.
Rob,
and that's a big word for me.
But Rob, I'm throwing a 15-yard penalty using quotes from Battle from the Planet of the Apes. 15 yards, loss of down, because man, battle. I know, but ape has killed ape. Ape has killed ape. Look, Battle was the worst of those five. Is all I'm saying. But you can quote. It's still, I don't know. You can still quote it. I'm just kidding, of course.
Right, Anaximander. I hate it when people. Yeah, I can't comment on that because that'll be too nerdy. I can't comment on your comment, Anaximander. I can only say I totally agree.
Well, we're going to say our goodbyes now tonight, folks, because I thank you so much for being here. And then we're calling it a bit of an early night. Hey, and which is cool because next week we got a lot of work to do next week, and then the next couple of weeks it might be a little bit shorter because we have less to review. Then when we start getting into Deep Space Nine, it'll be a lot tougher. And yes, Terrell, again, you're a Lynch fan. I got you. Well, you wouldn't have Eraserhead in your avatar if you weren't. So I figured that out as much. So and man, that movie just wow, good Lord. Just seeing that always gets me going. Anyway, all right, but appreciate that, Terrell. By the way, let's see here. With us tonight, of course, is the wonderful anti-derivative Jill, our wonderful chief engineer. Jill, we appreciate you so much. Thanks for all your help and all you do.
Thank you, nerdy. Thank you, nerdy, wonderful INTJ, fellow nerd. I love you very much. Thank you for your help tonight, and thank you for your wonderful conversation.
Indeedishness, indeed. The great J-Man was here earlier. I believe he had to leave, but love you, J-Man. You're the man. We appreciate you.
Yes, please support J-Man and his channel and his authorship.
Although I'm mad at him because he's making me review Thor with him when it comes out in a couple of weeks. Damn it, J-Man. Nah, he's not.
Love and Thunder.
Love and Blunder. Phantom Outsider was a man. What's up, buddy? Thank you, Phantom Outsider. Pleasant Valley Picker.
Good night, BC.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Your Muslim uncle, I believe, had to leave, but still, we shout out anyone whether they're still here or not. Big shout out and thank you to the great Maximum Redstone.
Maximum Redstone.
Indeed, marvelous work, sir, with the limericks. Thank you so much, buddy. Of course, the great Bronze Wrencher was here as always. All your help and all you do, Eric K, cannot even calculate. Thank you, buddy.
Totally agree. Love you, Eric.
Not to mention the great Chris Persia as well. Chris, thank you so much, buddy. Everything you do.
I love those two guys.
Amazing
Those are
fellas.
two of the nicest guys ever. I love knowing those two guys.
They rock
Thank
it.
you for all your help.
They rock it. Gwagnar!
Wagner.
Thanks for being here, Gwag. Kal-El, buddy, as always, just great to have you here, my friend. Thank you so much for being here.
Yep. Good night.
Catman, aka DD Myers, and I hope the wife as well, my friend. Thank you
Yes.
for being here tonight.
Have a good weekend.
Pop Culture Curator, thank you for being here, buddy. Good to see
Have a
you.
good weekend.
I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
He had to leave, but we still shout him out. The great Steve Mitchum, Maddie's daddy.
Good night.
Thanks, buddy. Shooter 8323. Shooter, thanks for being here tonight. We really appreciate it.
Oh. Pew, 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 pew,
Of
pew.
course. Oh yeah. Enigmatic Drop Bear ED, as always, an absolute pleasure and an honor to have you here, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're just sensational. I love your company, Enigmatic Drop Bear. Thank you so much for all the effort you put into stirring up great debate and wonderful conversation. Appreciate you.
Wendy Webb, the lovely Wendy Webb. I believe she had the run, but thank you so much for the contribution and everything you do, Wendy. We will love having you here in our little community, in our little fellowship, I should say.
Yes.
Michael,
Hungry
and
Boy is
Cassandra.
here, boss man. I'm sorry to interrupt you while you're
Hungry Boy-
talking,
what?
but
Is he
Hungry
here?
Boy's here.
Hey, hungry boy.
Wait,
Oh,
just let
man.
me. Can I put him up on the marquee? Hold on. Sorry for being here late. Crap things happen. Hugs to all.
Oh, my.
Hungry Boy, we love you.
Just glad to see you, buddy. That's
Yep,
all.
sorry
that matters.
about that. Hope everything's okay.
Just
Yeah.
glad to
Yeah,
see
I
you.
hope everything's okay. What Mark said.
Absolutely. Hope everything's good with you, man. And whatever's going on, man. I hope you're good. Thank you for popping in, though, man. I'm glad we got to see you.
Mhm.
Scotty R27. I mean,
Thanks,
R37,
Scotty.
sorry. Thank you, Scotty, for being here. The Beacons, Michael
Yes.
and Cassandra.
Did you see what Cassandra put in the chat? Be seeing you.
Yeah, be seeing you. Love the prisoner. I know Michael's a big prisoner fan. So yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Love those beacons.
Zathras,
Crap, crap, crap.
the Comic Relief Crusader. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Hey, Alberta.
Terrell 72, as always, a pleasure to have you here, my friend. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Just Joe, Jobber Buddy. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate
Night,
you.
Trevor.
Snail Messiah. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Way over there on the other side of the world, my friend. Thank you.
That's right. Have a good weekend.
Nirat and Amanda Bear, thank you so much for being here with us.
Sensational as usual, Nirat. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Anonymous, thank you so much for being here.
Anonymous.
Our old buddy Dead Man was here earlier.
And the Dead Man Clan.
Appreciate you, buddy. The Nerdporial Lifeform popped in for a little bit. I'll be on his reaction stream for the Orville on Wednesday night.
Nice.
There we go, yeah.
Thank you, Nerdporial, for popping in there. Interested in stuff was here.
And
you.
participated and
like
said
that.
some cool stuff and
see
did
you.
some cool stuff. A very cool person. I hope
Absolutely.
I see you here again.
Indeedishness. Dave Bob, buddy. I say something. The great Dave Bob was here earlier.
Yep.
Captain Cockney Spock. Thanks, buddy, for being here
Good
tonight.
night, Captain.
Always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. I hope you are doing well, sir. Tiny Metal Trees, thank you for being here with us tonight.
Great name. I just love the
Yeah.
name.
Like it, yeah.
Tiny Metal Trees.
Our old friend Cardinal Sen, thank you for your contributions and stopping by, buddy. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. Keely Chow, Rolling the Tide.
Yes, and
Okay, Keely.
And Scotty telling everybody to do a sporking raid. Love you, Scotty. Thank you. And
Oh.
we feel the same way about you, Dee Dee Myers, and your wife. You are wonderful people. And we love you too, Tyrell. We just absolutely love you. And we're so glad you had a great time. We'll see you next week.
Indeed. Darius Munchausen popped in earlier. Thank you, buddy. Good to
Yeah.
see you there. Boosh McFadden was here. Hello, Boosh.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bush is always fun.
Indeed, indeed. Dave G. Sound, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Great comments.
Lucky Jeebus popped in.
Lucky Jeebus!
Papa Delta Yankee was here earlier.
Papa Delta Yankee.
Wolfie stopped in. Wolfie, great to see you. Thank you for popping in, buddy. That hurt. Wow. Just kidding.
Ouch. No, just kidding.
Ouch. Rob Altus, thank you for popping in. And I think, and again, Hungry Boy, shout out to you. Good to see you, my friend.
Look
Anyway,
at what Rob Altus did.
That covers everybody. What? I see. Oh, yeah. Be seeing you.
Yeah, but he did it in the little emojis. I love it.
How did you get prisoner emoji? Well, they look not. Maybe they just look like them, or are they?
Well, no, he just used them in such a clever way that it
Yeah, he did look like it because he's running and he's got. I mean, that dot. He's got. It really looks like. Obviously, he's got the symbol to be seeing you. He's got a guy running. He's got Rover, and it looks like one of the prisoner buggies. But
yeah,
fantastic.
Amazing. It's amazing. And Hungry Boy, I try to make Wolfie's wolf call as absurd as possible because I enjoy listening to Clobby and Mark laugh. When Clobby laughs, I feel like the whole world is smiling because he has such a great laugh. So the more absurd my wolf cry is for Wolfie, the more I can get him to laugh.
I'm just glad you didn't see me last night, how stupid I looked laughing for like 80-something minutes straight, like an absolute idiot, laughing at the new Beavis and Butthead movie, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. I couldn't stop. I thought I was going to fall. I couldn't breathe at some points. I was just,
that's good.
I was losing it. I couldn't. It's the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Oh, God. Well, I mean, I'm a big fan, but.
Yeah, I mean, like, I almost died watching Dumb and Dumber the first time. And
right. Well,
I was just couldn't stop. That kind of laughter where you just so good. You can't help it, right? Yeah.
I was.
And the missus is looking at me like, this is that funny? I'm like, yes, this is that funny. Rewind.
I guess I'm easy.
Yeah,
so I love.
That's what I said too.
I mean, I'm not the biggest. I don't watch every comedy out there. I mean, I like some comedies. You know, my humor taste run, of course, go as wide as I love the Marx Brothers. They're better movies. I'm a big Marx Brothers freak, but I love the Three Stooges too, and they're very different. I love some of the older Abbott and Costello films, but that's the old stuff. I love Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny and all that kind of humor as well. And then I guess there's some things that quote unquote we call sophisticated comedies that even I love. So it's all over the place. I mean, they're all kind of. I mean, Steve Martin's done some varied comedies. He's done crazy, ridiculous, but fun stuff like The Jerk that he did Roxanne, which was brilliant.
That's true.
And Playing Strange on Automobiles. And I mean, I'm just naming
that's
all
one of
these
my
other
all-time
movies.
favorite.
And
How do you know we're going? How do they know we're going the wrong way?
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, great movie. So they're all kind of, but I'm not like it's not my favorite genre or anything, but I do love it sometimes. And yet, Mike Judge is a genius as far as I'm concerned. It was, I mean, Idiocracy, of course.
Yes,
it's amazing. And he's topped it. I mean, Idiocracy is too scary though because it's a true story. It's a true story.
It wasn't supposed to be futurism.
It's a futurist. It's a prediction.
You want to talk about verisimilitude? Definitely has a real quality. It feels as though it is real for sure.
Yeah, Snail. I don't know. I don't think there was any part of the movie that was bad to me. I loved all of it. I loved it. I mean, I did not stop. I barely got a chance to breathe the whole time during the new Beavis and Butthead movie. I loved it. It was just. And there's one bit in there. Won't talk about it. If I could force every SJW on the planet to watch it, and I could die happy.
Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Holy crap!
I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm not somebody who's nosy, and I don't like to pry because I'm an introvert. So I like to mind my own business. So I'm not even going to ask. But you know what I am going to do? I'm going to reach out right now and give you a big, warm bear hug. And you're a cute little koala, so I won't squeeze you too tight. But I just know that we're here to support you and And we're here. We're standing by and sending you
Oh, yeah.
all of our good thoughts. Hey, everybody, can you send our favorite koala bear a hug? Can you do that for me?
Give an E. Just put a big E in there.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. And to drive home what I'm talking about this movie. I streamed with Nick after the show, and then just watch some Star Trek or whatever, and later after I'd already seen the movie and stuff. It was hours later. And I woke up in the middle of the night. Well, I almost got no sleep because before I watched that movie, I'd only had about 2 hours sleep in the past 30 something. So maybe that was what it was. Around 4 or 5 in the morning this morning, I woke up because I do that a lot throughout the night because I'm old. And I started thinking about a certain part of that movie, and I started laughing while lying down. I couldn't stop laughing for like 30 minutes, laughing at something. I couldn't stop. I wanted to go back to sleep.
So
I was
just
tired.
didn't watch it again then?
No, I didn't watch it again. I started thinking about a part of it, and I couldn't stop laughing. I wanted to go to sleep. I was mad at myself. I'm like, cut it out. When I kept thinking about it, go. I kept losing it. So every time I think about it, it drives me insane. Oh God, stop it! See, now I thought about it again.
I gotta watch it now. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! The whole thing is hilarious to me, but this one bit, I guess. Jesus Christ, Mike Judge, thank you.
And I never was a big Beavis and Butthead. Butthead for the animation always threw me off. But
I love it.
Yeah, and Raquel put up this quote. So hope everything's getting better.
Oh my goodness!
ED there. Yep.
Oh, Eric found a koala bear. I love you, Eric.
Through the worst of it. Okay, well that's good. That's good to hear. Then at least anything about.
So if you're listening to this on a podcast and you're not participating in the live chat, you're not here and you're not seeing any visuals, Enigmatic Dropper has said, "Thanks, Raquel. Combo of cancer and COVID in a very close relative. I hope and think we're through the worst of it." So if you are connected with Enigmatic Drop Bear through any socials, please lend your support there to our great friend. And thank you so much for all of the beautiful, warm wishes of love and support and warmth and good thoughts for him in the chat. I love you guys so much. I just love each and every one of you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Snail, I guess I can only respond to this as Butthead would. First of all, I would give it about a 9.5, only because I don't give out 10s very often. But I will just look and go, you said hard.
Yeah, he said hard.
What we're gonna score. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I love them. I've always been a fan of that show. They're bringing them back, thank goodness. Man, I'm so glad to have those.
They're going to bring the show back too?
I think they're supposed to be bringing it back, yeah, but
wow.
All right. Anyway, well, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We said all the goodbyes. We were trying to let you go, and I kept you again. I'm sorry, but thank you.
Look at
what happened. Oh.
Thank you, everyone, for all of your support. Man. I'm humbled and almost in tears here. I just love you so much, sweetheart, and we are here with you and
absolutely
sending you all of our love. And I'd like to also reach out and say to the Comic Relief Crusader, whose aunt passed at the ripe old age of 90. Wow, what an adventure she must have had. My condolences, Comic Relief Crusader, on your great aunt in Germany, passing away at 90. I bet you she was a sweetheart.
Oh my goodness, that just happened. I'm so sorry about that, buddy.
Very sorry. Yeah.
Thank you, Narat. I didn't see that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been joking around like Butthead. I didn't
no, that's okay. And look at, you've made another fan. See, Narat has come over to the dark side. Narat is on the dark side with Jill and I, and Hungry Boy in loving your impressions.
Thank you. You just said it wasn't that good a one, but I try. Anyway.
Fire.
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you.
What you've always wanted to club into a Beavis and Butthead with Doomcocks. Hank Hill. Yeah, he does the best Hank. Well, he does Hank Hill. Hank Hill was kind of based on Anderson from Beavis and Butthead. I always thought he sounded like that one. You them boys been whacking off my trailer? No, boy. Anyway, thank you all so much, everyone. I will play us out with our wonderful end credits intro outros that are made by our wonderful first officer after these important messages. But first, hope to see you here Monday night and every other night that we're here. Thank you. It's been a wonderful night. And trek on, trekkers. Clobber on,
everyone.
clobberers. And have a wonderful rest of your night. Good luck. And I'll stop talking now. Thank you.
For you, Mr. Worf, I would love to explore Klingon memories.
Klingons do not allow themselves to be probed.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
I have had enough of you!
Crap, 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 crap.